Wilson. He lists Graham Mertz as he looks to reboot his career in Gainesville. Jordan Castell, a surprise, earning a nod at starting safety as a true freshman, and Tony Livingston, an offensive lineman turned tight end out of Tampa, co-starting with Dante Zanders. It's 82 degrees at 12:03. Time and temper brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention. Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time. What time is it? Showtime. Prime time.
It's XL Prime Time, featuring Joe C. Matt Hayes.
Big asses, big thighs, yeah.
Mia O'Brien.
Bent over and let it happen.
And Leon Searcy.
So they were smelling themselves.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Oh, I like what I see out there. It's overcast. It's a little windy. There might be just a little spit of rain, but I like what I see. I hope everybody else out there likes what they see, and we hope that everybody that was in the cone is going to be A-okay. But I believe, are hurricane-free, and that is good news for all of us. Welcome in. The whole idea is brace yourself for bad weather, but I say this every single time. I don't care how much prep work you do, as long as it doesn't come to fruition. I'm cool with it. I don't want that storm ever to show up, Leon, ever.
Well,
so I'm happy with it.
Well, JJ and I walked in today, and I hope this is not an omen because, you think about hurricanes, the hurricanes got to play this year, and I went outside and wasn't much to see. It was drip, drizzle, and partly cloudy. So that
a disappointment.
Disappointment. It was very.
We're
It was
hoping
a
we don't see
disappointment.
that
I
on
hope we
Friday
don't
night.
see that because I've seen enough of that for the past 15
Right.
years.
If your hurricanes lack wind and
Yeah,
sag, that's your problem. But I'm okay with this one not hitting us. That's for sure.
Just
But
hope it's not an
sag.
omen.
Sag
Just hope
is
it's not an
never
omen.
good.
That's all.
Any kind of sag is never good.
Exactly. It's bad.
That's a drop, JJ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I would just say the Miami of Florida name is on the line if you guys sag. So
No doubt.
you just know
Well,
that.
yeah, that's the rumor. The
Yeah.
rumor is that we will have to.
That's no rumor, bro. That's it. That's real.
If you
That's
lose
what's
to
real.
if you lose to Miami of Ohio, you are now officially
We're
Miami
Miami
of
of
Florida. And
Really?
they're Miami.
Interesting.
Well, the best part is in that game, the little graphic where it says the score is going to say Miami parentheses OH against Miami parentheses Florida.
I tell you what, if Florida loses to Utah this Thursday night, y'all the Geckos. Y'all the mighty Geckos of Florida.
Well, wasn't
What
it the
was-
meth gecko?
the Meth Geckos,
Geckos,
yeah, that's
yes.
right.
Yes,
So, I
yes.
mean, we can all have name changes around here if you like.
More importantly, not that anything is more important than the Miami Hurricanes around these parts. Leon, the text
Amen.
line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, is wondering the all-important question: how is Auntie Carolyn?
Oh, Auntie Caroline? Of
Yeah,
course I
Caroline.
had to check on her. We got the family group text last night. They caught some wind. Couple of limbs fell in the yard.
She's in Tallytown.
She's in Tallytown right now.
So it hasn't hit her yet.
Hasn't hit her like
no,
it
it has because the eye
It
of the
went.
storm's
The eye
in
went the
Oh,
storm
really?
through. Yeah, but she didn't have. She
Good.
didn't have much.
Okay,
No.
hey, round of applause. Okay,
absolutely.
hey, we love to hear that.
Hey,
You know, I had to check on her, make sure
Yeah.
she was good.
Yeah, and I
And
think
of
this
course,
is-
she overcooked because she was anticipating having to be stored in the house a couple of days.
Should
and
we have
everything
gone
like
and
that.
done a remote show from there?
Well, you would have been welcome.
I'm beginning to think we should have gone Cantori and reported
Yeah,
live
absolutely.
from
I tell you,
her
I tell you
house.
what. First of all, you overeat, okay, because she's gonna feed you, and she's gonna tell stories of me, and she's gonna have pictures of me. So
Yeah, that's
we'll
the best
Be
right
very
there.
embarrassed.
What was on the menu? Since I know we loved the menu.
You know,
last
I
hurricane
didn't
season.
know, but knowing her, there was a lot of meat, there was a lot of vegetables, and there had to be cornbread somewhere.
Ooh,
There's
okay.
always some good
Always
cornbread.
good cornbread.
Just off to the side. Just,
yeah, absolutely.
baby, dip that in that chili.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, now, if you're over there in Lake City or anywhere over there off of I-10, up the way, hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Let us know. If you are listening on the app, the stream, whatever it might be, let us know. But hopefully everybody's good to go. We were talking about, quote, a wind event as opposed to a rain event. Which I'll happily take. The Golf Club of Southampton, it's standing tall right now, although the 9 after 5 at risk. And I'm encouraging them to open the doors back up.
They
But
say
we'll-
it's going to be out of here
yeah.
by 3.
Oh, yeah. It's so funny because the rain forecast was really only until about 3 o'clock.
Right.
And then it was just the wind signal on the weather. All right, so We played meteorologist for a little while. If you guys want to jump in, talk some ball, let's do that. Because the wind swept through Duval and took a bunch of guys off this 53-man roster of your Jacksonville Jaguars. So we talked about the cut casualties yesterday because it came down in our show that they were waived, released, all the different transactions that took place. And then they got down to their 53. Well, now, as of noon, you start to clear waivers, and teams will start to pick other guys up, which may also mean the release of certain players. But, Leon, as you look at it, this 53-man's been put together. You can expect a couple of pieces of news to be made about either Devon Hamilton or Cooper Hodges. They did release Blake Hance yesterday. There's certainly logical thinking that he's going to come back once an IR decision is made. But anyway, you got your 53-man at least to start.
Well, listen, when you look at this Jaguars team, the way it was constructed over the last couple of years, we would never be able to say that this is probably one of the top 10 teams in the league. If you look at the roster from up and down, I mean, you got weapons on offense. You got Trevor Lawrence. You got a dual back combination in Etienne and Bigsby, tight end play. The only concern I have with this team right now is just the lack of pass rush. That's going to be my only concern. I don't know if we can pick up anybody
That's why the Nick Bosa talk took
exactly
over today.
anybody that's on the wire right now, as far as a DN or linebacker, as far as pass rush, is probably not good enough to be on this team. So I don't know if we can pick up a guy to bring him in. But Nick Bosa, the name Nick Bosa, he's still out there. Sounds pretty nice. I'm trying to configure what would I give up to bring a guy like that here to Jacksonville. Almost everything.
Well,
everybody's expendable on the
you're going to see
front.
this is the double whammy if you talk about a guy like this because Jonathan Taylor asked to be traded. They went through their deadline. He didn't get traded. The Colts didn't like what was out there, so he's going to be put on the PUP list. You're not going to see Jonathan Taylor in the backfield with Anthony Richardson, Jaguar fans, come a couple of Sundays from now. So that's good news. That's notched that first win against the hated Colts without Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. But you've got Chris Jones laying out. You've got Nick Bosa laying out. You've got 2 or 3 more guys that are still impactful players. But if you were to pull a deal, all this money that they're setting aside right now for the Trevor Lawrences, the Calvin Ridleys of the world, all the guys that they got to pay, they're going to put it all in Nick Bosa's back pocket, and that would be – and give up draft capital to get him.
Let's set the scene, though, for our nooners. This notion of Nick Bosa potentially being traded to an AFC team, in case you missed it, was apparently originated by a user on Reddit.com who apparently broke the Christian McCaffrey to the 49ers trade before any other news source did. And so, therefore, because he has credibility and he is on Reddit.com and has an @ on there, he is now proclaiming that the talks have broken down between the two sides. Nick Bosa obviously was a no-show during training camp.
Right.
And now this is the world that we are now living in, that we are relying on this Reddit user as to where Nick Bosa could go next.
Yeah, I do love the reporting that's out there. You know, Matt's industry.
Hey, for all we know is that Reddit guy got laid off by somebody a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
and he's one of the best reporters out there, and he's breaking news.
Yeah, do you
Honestly,
think he was?
Yeah.
Was he part of the Athletic? Or
I don't know. All I'm saying is you never know, man.
Oh,
You
it's
never
the
know
truth.
at this point.
It's the truth. But I do like the fact that I think what you're seeing now is there's a bursting point for the 49ers, just like there's a bursting point for a few others, because you can only keep so many good players, and they reach that max where they are going to get paid. They want to get paid. Chris Jones is an example. He already got one nice big fat contract from Kansas City, but he's on the last year of it. And you know what he wants? He wants another big fat contract. And so these guys are looking around going, you know what? I'm not sacrificing. This is where you always come in. I'm not sacrificing for me, just for you.
I don't know. Here's the interesting thing you have to ask yourself when you bring in a guy like Nick Bosa. Ask Trevor and Calvin. You know, come next year, would you take a little less to bring him in right now? Maybe you can negotiate. They can negotiate because you know they were both going to be asking for contracts.
Yeah.
I mean, because you got to understand where the window is. You bring in a Nick Bosa here, the window is wide open. It's gusting winds, not like what we got here right now.
Well, you're also going to get some money because you're going to give them Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker, too.
Well, yeah, man. More
So
than
you're going to
likely.
pick up money if you have that
yeah,
way.
you are, absolutely.
All right.
If you send those
And
two,
the first round next year.
And the
So
first
you're not
round
going to have
next
to pay for that.
Exactly.
We do have
But
a
you
bit
don't
of
have one.
Yeah,
bit
but
of
you have Bosa at that point.
we do have our first waiver wire / practice squad news courtesy of TSN. JJ.
yeah.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Thanks to our good friends north of the border. This is courtesy of Farhan Lalaji with TSN up in Canada, who says that at least 3 teams called Nathan Rourke since his release became official. There was meaningful interest, but active roster spots were scarce. And now, as of about 4 minutes ago, Farhan reports that Rourke went unclaimed ahead of today's waiver deadline, and he is planning on signing a practice roster agreement with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, the Mountie Minshew, the Canadian Minshew. JJ, a round of applause. He's coming back to Duval. I do like that. Let's just develop the heck out of this young man.
And everyone was so afraid he was going to get claimed,
Yeah.
and why aren't you keeping him on the 53-man roster? All's well that ends well, Duval.
A lot of
my
people.
My friends up in Fernandina Beach, it's okay. Phil and Foley, you can come down, take a deep breath. He's staying in Duval.
I just think
It's
a lot
gonna
of
be okay.
people, whatever you have, you think everyone else wants, and that's just usually not the case. In this football team, like Will Greer, will he get picked up? Will he clear waivers? What will happen with him? Who knows? Heck, the New England you know what? We need to fire up an eye on the offseason early, JJ, because there is so many things going on, particularly with the quarterback position, and we'll keep an eye on our waiver wire. We're going to go knee-deep in college football land with Josh Pate from Late Kick coming up in the next seg. So let's do this right now.
Time now for Eye on the Off-Season, brought to you by Dr. Robert Schnipper and the Jacksonville Eye Center.
I talked to Doc the other day, and he's fired up. He knows how big a season is forecast for this football team here, and he is definitely a big fan. Now, if you want to find out who can take care of you when it comes to LASIK, and I highly recommend Dr. Schnipper, all you have to do is log on drschnipper.com and find out how easy it is to have LASIK, Intralays, Allegretto Wave. We're talking about state-of-the-art technology. He's done countless procedures. It is so easy. You're in, out. It's outpatient, and you're seeing 20/20. So make sure you find out about it. Give him a call, 355-5555, and schedule an appointment. If you're looking at cataracts later in life, that definitely is something that I call him the OG of ophthalmology. He knows all about it, and he's handled countless cases. So make sure you check him out, the Jacksonville Eye Center and drschnipper.com. So you have got a couple of really whacked quarterback situations, maybe even a growing list of whacked quarterback situations. I wish we could play One Is the Loneliest Number while we're playing this music as well, because Mac Jones is now sitting up there in New England by himself. They let go of Bailey Zappi. Who the heck knows exactly what's going to happen there? The Arizona Cardinals, meanwhile, don't know who the hell their starter is. They're cutting people left and right. Colt McCoy's been basically shipped off. Kyler Murray's not healthy. They don't know who else. They go and trade for Josh Dobbs. Will Josh Dobbs start 2 games in it would be the last 2 games that he would have started with basically a week's time or maybe 2 weeks' time at those 2 particular franchises. Remember, Josh Dobbs was in Nashville for a couple of weeks and started here in Duval, final game of the regular season. Then he goes to where? Cleveland? He goes to Cleveland, I'm pretty sure, then gets dealt before the season starts out to Arizona, and he may start that bad boy. He may start a couple of Sundays from now. It's nuts.
Josh Dobbs was drafted in 2017, boys. How many games do you think he has played in since 2017, despite being traded twice?
Yeah, I'm going to bet
for high day 3 picks.
Yeah, I'm going to bet 2, and this would be the second one coming up.
He has started 2 games and has appeared in 8 since 2017.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy, though? Because Arizona does not know what they're doing right now. They don't have a healthy Kyler Murray.
Could they be tanking?
Well, there's certainly not a lot there. They have stripped it down. When you ship Colt McCoy out, it does make you wonder that they could be already.
And Murray's what? He's on the PUP list, right?
For the here and now, I'm
For the
pretty
here and
sure.
now. Yeah, he's on the PUP list. So.
Yeah.
Colt McCoy sucks, though.
Yeah, he's
Well,
terrible.
I mean,
yeah.
let's.
I'm not even gonna-
If they're like getting rid of Colt McCoy and everyone's like, "Oh my God, they're gonna lose now."
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
I totally get it.
they were gonna lose before.
But at least when you go back to last year when he did go, he kept them competitive. And so I'm not going to say he's great. You got to have him, anything like that. Just that if they ship that guy off, he's the one most familiar with the playbook, with the most experience. Not saying that it's good. So let's use that and go up to New England. What are they thinking up there? Is Bailey Zappi did they zap him to make Mac Jones happy?
Belichick thinks Hoyer's hiding somewhere in one of the prop closets somewhere in New England. He doesn't realize he's in Las Vegas with New England West.
Well, before training camp, didn't Bill say there was a competition? Mac
He made
Jones
it seem so.
He made
yeah.
it seem so. I mean, he didn't deny it. He didn't confirm it either, but he didn't deny it.
Obviously, they're going to get a quarterback. Obviously, they'll have a second quarterback. You can't go into the season over.
But here we are. You cut to 53, and you Wade Bailey's happy.
They'll find another quarterback, and the Cardinals thing's what's more intriguing because that's a bad team.
Yeah.
The Patriots are a pretty good team, and I think Mac Jones is going to play really well with Bill O'Brien. The Cardinals are a bad team. They'll be 0-4 without Kyler Murray, and then he'll come back, and they'll be, 3-10?
Yeah.
More than likely.
2-11? And then they'll get Caleb Williams, and I don't know what they're going to do with Kyler Murray's contract.
Yeah, trade him. Straight baby.
Who's going to take him?
I don't know.
Yeah, because it's an expensive contract.
Maybe
Big
the Falcons.
contract.
Maybe the Falcons.
If you have 3 wins, you might not get the number 1 pick.
It'll be a foot race between them.
A very slow foot race.
Yeah, a mule.
Either way, even if
there's a mule involved,
even if they have the second overall, then they're going to take Drake May.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
Really?
Yeah, they would
If you have Kyler Murray,
dude. Kyler Murray he's done.
oh my goodness!
I told you guys.
Wow.
He's
No.
done.
Yeah.
At the very least, he
That's
certainly
such
isn't
a
worth.
ridiculous thing to say.
He certainly isn't worth how much? 200.
I agree with
Well,
that.
I
But
believe it's 130
Is it like-
guaranteed.
so
I'm
what are they
pretty
just
Is
going
he
to cut
Geno
him?
Smith done?
No, I don't know about that.
Geno was counting.
I don't know. Oh, you mean does he need
right
a
back,
new
though.
place
Yeah,
to
just need a new place
maybe
to shine. Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, it's always possible. Look, he's still cat quick, accurate passer,
Got him to the playoffs.
but he's just I was
It's a short shelf life in the NFL, James.
right.
Especially
I
that
was a
position.
bet against in terms of the long-term success of Kyler Murray. Dynamic, fun to watch, nice little stick of dynamite, can make things happen at any moment. But the wear and tear, the body does take a beating, and he put his body in harm's way.
Same with Baker.
Yeah, a little bit
Same with
early in the
Baker.
season, a little bit early in his career. That shoulder was hanging off his body in year 2.
You know who's not? It's
He's
Jalen.
so much better than Baker, though.
Jalen Hurts,
Well,
another
I would
quarterback
give
from
him
that,
that,
system, but he's a big dude. Like Jalen Hurts can squat like over 500 pounds. He's like a big dude.
He's much more. He's
I don't need my.
He's much more able to absorb hits. Than
Okay,
the other
but
two.
And an
Kyler
aptitude
Murray
for the
didn't get
position.
hit and get hurt. Like, that's not why he got hurt.
no. I'm going back to a shoulder injury from 2 seasons before that. He was already getting beat up, and then he had the ACL. So you're talking.
I think I got
multiple
a thing.
injuries.
I think I have a thing against little people. That's what I think. It is. I think if Kyler Murray was 6 foot, y'all wouldn't have an issue with him.
Well, I bet against him because of his height.
You're solid, man. He's gonna
I was the guy who said he was going to be the first overall pick, and you guys laughed at him. He ended up being the first overall
we did
pick.
laugh. We did laugh.
Yeah, and then I bet against him, and we had the bet, and it's looking like you're on my side now. So
I'm not on your side. I think
Yeah.
I think there's empirical evidence now. You
Yeah.
see, he's just not. I don't know that he's going to be a guy that's going to be a.
You said he was
I
done.
don't know that he's going to be a done as far as like a playoff guy that can lead a franchise to multiple playoffs.
So you think he's reached his ceiling?
I mean, anybody can go.
He's
mean,
plateaued. He's not going
Dude,
to get any
Geno
better.
Smith.
how,
like,
how
went to
many
the
guys
playoffs.
can quarterbacks can play in the NFL and lead a team to 6, 7, 8 wins?
Half the league goes to the playoffs every year in the NFL.
I know. My point is, how many guys
You can only win 9 games and go to the playoffs.
How many guys can win 6 or 7 or 8 games a year in the NFL? That's kind of my point. I think
20.
I think right. I think he's one of those guys. That's my point.
So right now,
he's not one of those elite guys.
his
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
his deal right now, the yearly deal, $39 million.
Yeah, like, what are you supposed to do with that?
Yeah,
I know, like, Drake May or whatever, but can you cut him? Can you trade him?
Yeah, you go to next year, and I'm telling you, the dead cap is.
Hey, listen.
Just carry it.
nuts.
I mean,
Listen.
if you go with Drake May, you carry it.
Well, listen. There's always
There's
a
nothing
team
else to do.
that's a sucker now. We got somebody to pay for Nick Foles half his contract.
Maybe that's the
did.
plan in
We
New
did.
It's
England,
the best
by the
move
way.
by Dave
Best
Caldwell.
move
Hey,
ever.
hey, Leon. Maybe that's the plan in New England. By the way, you got
Yeah.
2 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks out on the street: Nick Foles and Carson Wentz. Oh wait, they were on the same team. And guess what? They're both still available. Maybe that's Belichick's chestnut
They're
checkers
just sitting out
move.
there.
Maybe. Yeah.
And so you look around, and it's been a repeating theme as far as what we've had on XL Primetime is that you don't have to worry about any of this madness because you've got a great quarterback right now, and you a blossoming offense with him and Doug Peterson that you can look forward to great things. But you're looking around, and they are definitely trying to figure stuff out in multiple NFL stops. That's for sure when it comes to the quarterback position. All right, so back to a Nick Bosa. Do you think if indeed they were willing, San Francisco, willing to look around and hear offers, what would it take for this team to get?
At least 2 firsts.
Yeah, I would think so.
At least, I mean,
And
Jalen went
you got to
for
give him
2
a new contract.
Right, correct. You'd have to pay him on top of that. That's what Jalen Ramsey went for, and he was younger than Nick Bosa, granted. I mean, but not by all that much. 2 firsts and a 4th. And so that's the starting point. if I'm the 49ers. And you can maybe maneuver it and include a current player, but who are you going to give up if you're going to give up an actual player as opposed to picks?
Anyone not named Lawrence and Ridley
Is up for grabs.
Yeah,
Well, Ridley's on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, but you've got him, though. You got to do is pay him.
You want to sign him. Yeah. You're going to have cash for that. And so you're going to have cash for the big man. And obviously, Bosa, I think you mentioned yesterday, Leon, you know, you usually want that one guy that as soon as the offense walks up, they're aware. He would be that guy.
Yeah, but Bosa wants to get paid. That's
Oh,
the
that's
point
right.
of the
Since we're
trade.
playing-
So.
Since
break
we're
the
playing
bank.
Dream World, okay?
Yeah. Oh, it is.
Let's just say the Niners take 2 ones for him, all right? And it's the 24 and the 25, right? Who's getting off the field for him to get on the field? Which one of those two?
Trayvon?
Trayvon moves inside.
Yeah.
Are
yeah,
they
he
actually, would they
easily
actually
could.
concede?
Yeah. Ever heard of him? Yeah, that's exactly what it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would not have a down where Nick Bosa wasn't out there, honestly. And that guy, you want to talk about like a T.J. Watt, a Nick Bosa, a healthy Von Miller. You can, heck, he's better than his brother because Joey Bosa was neutralized.
So then you blew the pick.
And frustrated by Juwan Taylor.
So you blew the pick then.
Well, I don't know. We're like again, we're in dreamland right
We
now.
are in dreamland, but if you move him inside, you blew the pick.
Actually, if he were to move inside and develop into a player, then an Aaron Donald type of inside player, well, then no.
I love how we just throw that name out there, an Aaron Donald type of player.
The best player
now,
in the league.
Merely the best player in the league, an Aaron Donald
let
type
me-
player.
Let me just make it clear.
Look, Aaron Donald is the sun, and Trayvon's like Pluto.
Right. Let me
and
just-
I don't even think Pluto exists anymore.
It's so funny how you
It doesn't.
how you try and put it in a planet where I'm saying he was not a bad pick. I mean, what?
I mean, did I not hear you say if he develops into an Aaron Donald type
Yeah,
player?
you did. Yeah, and so that again, we're in dreamland here. Okay.
All right,
I mean,
that's a
come
good
on,
point.
give me a break.
That's a good point. We are in dreamland.
Yeah, and so we're talking his second year. If he develops into something, then obviously it looks like a better pick. But right now, it was not a good number 1 overall pick. I don't know how many times I can say that and still be asked, "Do you still think it was a good pick?"
He's putting words in your mouth.
Well, I mean,
You
Aaron
keep
Donald-
coming up with little provisos every now and then. That's all I'm telling you. You do.
Aaron Donald's a stretch right there. Hey, listen, he can be Booger McFarland.
Every once in a while, you're coming up with
I'll
those.
take Booger right now. If he could be Booger.
JJ, some news out of the Bay Area with regards to Nick Bosa.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
According to Jason Dumas of KRON4 and also Bally Sports out in San Francisco, Nick Bosa will, quote, get a deal done with the 49ers in time to be ready week 1 of the NFL season.
Damn it.
All right, so Dreamscape is over. All right, we're done. We're done.
We killed
So
the
much
dream.
for that radio.
Trayvon,
Exactly.
you're safe.
That lasted 6 hours. I have referred to people
You're
as
safe at
Dumas,
Rush Gen,
as Dumas quite often, but this is a totally different Dumas, right? This is
No, this is the guy who was in. He does Philly and NBA stuff, but then he
Right.
also does some San Francisco stuff.
Right.
He's a host for 95.7 The Game.
Yeah.
Man of many talents.
Oh
so.
yeah. I was just making fun of the name Dumas. So that was it more than anything else. But he is at the very least saying there's going to be a deal done, and you would expect that you would hear something like that with Chris Jones in the not too distant future. So we'll find out about
Maybe
that.
not though, because
Yeah.
Chris Jones is out here like tweeting through it and saying he's not going to play till week 8.
Yeah, but you know as well as I do, he ain't giving up that amount of money.
First off, I love the
8 weeks
text
of
line.
checks. 8 weeks of checks. I don't think so.
Text
We'll
line,
find out.
because we said 2 first downs.
Yeah.
What are you going to give him, 32 and 32? See, that's why you love the text
Yeah.
line.
Oh yeah.
That's why you love it.
You can do deals now if you're drafting at the back of the draft instead of the front of the draft. All right, there you go. Eye on the offseason, drschnipper.com, the Jacksonville Eye Center. Let's say hello to Josh Pate coming up in just a bit. He made his way with Late Kick, his show, out to Utah. So we're going to be talking about the Gators. And I'm telling you what, that line is moving again. It's XL Primetime.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. A slice of home, no matter how far from Jacksonville life takes you.
It's a miracle!
Download the 1010XL and XL 92.5 FM apps for free on Apple and Android devices to listen anywhere in the world.
Mia here and my friends over at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned are doing it again. They are fighting inflation and saving you even more. I'm going to call it Arlington's Inflation Fighter Special, because now that pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla I told you about, it's not $1,000 down. Nope, it is just $500 down and $288 per month. Or you choose a pre-owned 2020 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma, not $1,000 down. Nope, I am talking just half of that. $500 down, and $388 per month. And it doesn't stop there. Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned has over 400 used cars in stock, plus more than 100 vehicles under $18K. And you still get 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it for one that you do. Everyone agrees. Inflation, bad. But now we can also agree on this. The Inflation Fighter specials at Arlington Pre-Owned, oh so good. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
Now, the Hurricane Report. Brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Miami opens the season this Friday, September the 1st at 7 o'clock against Miami of Ohio. Quarterback Tyler Van Dyke has been placed on a couple of watch lists coming into this season. In addition to being named to the 2023 Johnny Unitas Golden Arm watch list, Van Dyke is also on the watch list for the National Comeback Player of the Year. He'll be looking to bounce back after a rough 2022 season in which he recorded only 10 touchdowns and had 5 interceptions.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
As your favorite football teams gear up for the season, so is the team at River City Lighting on Phillips Highway. Come in this week during their moving sale and score big-time savings with everything 40 to 70% off. This moving sale includes all lighting, fans, mirrors, fountains, and artwork. Hurry in today for the best selection and find the lights of your dreams at River City Lighting and the Fan Man on Phillips Highway, just north of 295.
Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is the sports medicine leader in Northeast Florida. We're proud to be the official sports medicine provider for your hometown teams, including the Jaguars, Sharks, Axemen, Armada, and the Jumbo Shrimp. We have the most cutting-edge resources for sports medicine care, including active armor casting, Alter-G anti-gravity treadmills, and highly trained physicians and athletic trainers. JOI is truly where the pros go, and so should you.
Coach Steve Spurrier, Shane Matthews, Chris Story, and Dan Hicken round up the Gator greats for a preview of this year's team on the Gators Roundtable podcast, brought to you by 1010XL and Safe Harbor Seafood Restaurant and Market. Find it where you find podcasts.
Brackish Vodka, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is the smoothest local vodka you can find. Made right here in Jacksonville, Florida, 100% from corn, Brackish Vodka is the local gluten-free choice. Brackish Vodka, for those that live life slightly salty, a proud partner of the Jaguars. You're invited. Come out and drink Brackish Vodka at a grand opening for the new Players Grill in Mandarin.
The following people are under the influence of no air conditioning.
Oh, man.
Is it ever hot? I can't get up. My legs are stuck to the chair.
Can guys go through menopause?
Why?
I think I'm having a hot flash.
Don't let no AC happen to you. Call Duck Duck Air Conditioning, available 24 hours a day, and they'll fix it right the first time. When your AC system needs a repair, it's time to call Duck Duck Air, 904-862-6769, or online at duckduckac.com. Duck Duck Air Conditioning, a division of Duck Duck Rooter.
Hey, Matt Hayes here. Expert Automotive is now open at our brand new state-of-the-art facility on St. John's Bluff Road. As always, every repair comes with a lifetime service repair warranty. Come celebrate our grand reopening by getting a free AC inspection, $50 off any repair, $199 brake specials, and free diagnostics all month long. Call 374-3373 or visit us at our new location at 2190 St. John's Bluff Road. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
Whether you are looking for a job or an employer trying to hire, there's only one stop in Jacksonville, Remedy Staffing. Labor trends keep us guessing. As employers, the job market has been strong. So what does that mean for workers' availability? If you're interested in the workforce solutions or how the Remedy team can help you, call or text Crystal at 904-329-9802. 329-9802, Remedy Staffing.
Ackerman Urology is now servicing the Beaches community. If you have elevated PSA, prostate, bladder, or kidney issues, plan to see the experts at Ackerman Urology right away at the new location on Atlantic and Hodges Boulevard.
Your Jaguars are back at Everbank Stadium, and we can't wait to see you there. Deciding on your favorite matchup has never been easier with a bundle at the bank. Purchase tickets to 3 or more games, starting at just $58 per game. As a bundle purchaser, you receive exclusive access to Jaguars and Daly's Place pre-sales, discounts on single game tickets, and so much more. But seats are selling fast, so lock them in now. Visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jaguars have adjusted their schedule this week due to Hurricane Idalia. The team held a brief indoor practice this morning, and all of the Jaguars' afternoon meetings have been canceled due to the storm. The Jags will practice tomorrow morning, and then head coach Doug Peterson and general manager Trent Baalke will meet the media to discuss their roster cuts. That's tomorrow afternoon at approximately 1:30. The team has announced its initial 53-man roster with perhaps more moves to come. You can find out more at Jaguars.com or at Jaguars on social media. The Jaguars kick off the 2023 season next Sunday at Indianapolis. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock next Sunday right here on 1010XL. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Dream, 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 dream. Dream, dream, dream when I want you. In my arms when I want you.
This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
This song coming at you by special request of none other than our very own Dave Campo.
Our crooner.
Apparently, he believes all of you Florida fans are dreaming. Any thoughts? of
No,
potential-
he was talking about
he was
talking about us last segment.
Yeah,
Oh.
the
Nick
dreamscape of
Bosa.
Nick
Nick
Bosa.
Bosa. I thought he was referring to the Florida fans. My
Which they
apologies,
could be
Gator
dreaming,
fans.
too.
Yeah, they also could be dreaming.
Yeah.
Although I'm not going to lie, folks, this won't be revealed until tomorrow. But Matt and Joe may or may not have just made their unofficial picks for the 1010XL social channels, and may surprise you what the boys are thinking.
Well, I tell you this much. The Vegas boys are thinking that line is moving in a direction that says Cam Rising either isn't going to play or isn't 100%. And on top of that, their tight end is not
Brand
100%.
Who's a really good player.
And so those two are significant. Now, Florida's also going to have a couple of guys that are dinged up, missing in action along that offensive line. But this is, I think, this is going to be.
He's still questionable. He's
Yeah.
probably going to play. I would guess.
I just think it's going to be a plotting type of game. Both teams, they hope, will play good defense, hope will run the ball well. Utah does what it does. That's what they do. They got good. They're a deep team, good defense, good run game. But that line went from over 7.5 down to 3.5 or 4, then off the board, then reopened and went to 6.5, and now just tumbled to 4.5 or 4. Actually, in some of those, I'm sure MyBookie may have it at 4. So that's telling you something.
I mean, I don't think we're breaking any news.
No.
If Cam Rising doesn't play, Florida's got a chance to win that game. There's no doubt about that. So how do you win that game? Your two best things are your offensive line and your running game. So you control the game. You force a turnover, get a short field or two, maybe a defensive score or a special team score. You know, find a way to manufacture a win on the road. Just stay close until the fourth quarter. If they can do that, if Rising's not playing and they can stay close to the fourth quarter, I think they can win the game. If Rising is playing, they got a problem.
Which 4.5 is the line, according to MyBookie.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I mean, just from my experience of playing in the college or the professional ranks, when you go on the road in a hostile environment, the first thing you do is you establish the run game. If you can effectively control the line of scrimmage, move the chains, control time of possession, keep them on the sideline, quiet the crowd, you got them. And if Florida comes in there with that game plan and they're able to establish their dominance on the front line and they got those two-headed monsters at running back and and stay in the game until the fourth quarter, and while those guys are tired pounding, they got every opportunity, I think, if Rising doesn't play. Now, if Rising plays, I mean, y'all,
Well,
y'all might.
What if he plays and he's like
right.
limping?
If he's not 100%,
and-
I think that's also a kind of ideal.
Yeah, but if he's playing, they're not going to stick him out there if he's not ready.
Right.
No, if he's not healthy. No,
They're not going to do that.
I think all we're looking at right now is a guy that got hurt in a bowl game. Like I said, I feel terrible for him, just like Derek King when he got hurt in the bowl game. Coming back with that massive opener the following season, it is tough. And Gio will be in here. We'll call him on the phone later, but we're talking 9 months removed or less than 9 months removed.
Well, even when Derek King came back in Miami and played in the game, he wasn't the same.
No.
He didn't look the same.
No.
Before he got with that injury, he was elusive. He could move. He could scramble. When he came back, he was a shell of himself. I knew right then and there that he wasn't quite ready.
All right, so you guys throw some thoughts at us when it comes to the Gators against Utah, FSU, LSU. That comes up Sunday night. You got Clemson, Duke. You got North Carolina, South Carolina. You got a bunch of big ones on the slate to open up your college football week 1. This is not week 0. This is week 1. And I tell you what, cannot wait to see how it plays out.
And we're going to be joined momentarily by a guy who's got all the bases covered when it comes to college football. Just perusing his Twitter timeline right now, maybe the busiest man in sports on this lovely Hurricane Wednesday, because Josh Pate spent some time with our friends at 104.5 The Zone, and now he joins us.
Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Josh joins us right here on XL Primetime. Thanks for the time. Now, real quick, as we welcome you in, have you made the trip to Utah yet? Are you set up in Salt Lake? Give us the latest.
No, that's what makes the day so busy. We've got that flight later tonight, so that'll be like the end of the workday. Kind of looking forward to that.
Well, I wanted to get you because obviously you do a great job. You can find Late Kick in podcast form on any social media that you're part of. But when you talk about this ball game, and we'll try and hit the other ones too, Josh, but there's so many tentacles to this one, and I just firmly believe Cam Rising is not going to play in this game.
I think that sentiment is echoed by a lot of people close to the program as well out there in Utah. At this point, if you're gauging it, I think people should be more surprised if he does start than if he doesn't start. What's interesting to me, if you believe in the power rating thing, if you do your own odds making, and I try and dabble in that a little bit, I think that point spread that's out there right now still has the possibility of him starting heavily baked into it, because there's no way you're going to convince me that a Cam Rising-less Utah is still close to a touchdown favorite, even at home against Florida. So I think I think that thing could be just a total knife fight.
Now, go ahead, Matt.
Josh, a lot of really fun games this weekend. The one I think is really off the radar that is going to be one of the best games of the weekend is Clemson and Duke. A really, really good Duke team that a lot of people don't know a lot about, and a quarterback who's going to be a first-round pick by the end of the season.
You know what's a shame? I agree with you. And what's a shame about Duke, Matt, is I think if we gave them Louisville's schedule this year and changed nothing about the team, I think you'd have to take them semi-serious as a dark horse to make the conference title game. But they play all the big dogs in the ACC. Louisville plays none of them. I don't know how in the world this happens. But, yeah, you're talking about Riley Leonard at quarterback. But even beyond him, man, Mike Elko, they did a good job of utilizing what they had there. And then also they stocked themselves up really well in talent acquisition between last year and this year. It's a flat-out good team that I think is a prisoner of the helmet. I think if I put Virginia Tech, if I put Virginia Tech helmets on that team, people would take them a lot more serious.
Josh, let's take a look back at the Gator game. Let's dive back into tomorrow night's matchup a little bit more, because word on the street here in Jacksonville is you're a believer in Graham Mertz.
I'm a believer that there is more in the tank than we've seen. I always want to be cautious with this. When you have closed practices in college football like we mostly do, it really fosters an environment that is imaginative. And you get to week 1, and sometimes you're really let down by your own imagination. So I'm not trying to do that with him. What I am trying to do, and I'm sure you guys down there have heard this sentiment echoed a lot, is I keep trying to remind people what Napier has said about Graham Mertz, and that is we evaluated all the quarterbacks in the portal. This is the one we wanted, and whether you roll your eyes at that or not is irrelevant to the next point. The next point he's made over and over is Wisconsin's staff was very honest, brutally honest, in saying they misused him. They misdeveloped him. They did not utilize him the right way. Now, that may mean something. It may mean nothing. But if it does mean something, I think it could mean that the right coaching staff can squeeze a lot more water out of the sponge that is Graham Mertz than we saw at Wisconsin. Now, here's what's funny. If you remember back to his debut at Wisconsin, this sounds like a fever dream now, but they started on the road, I think at Illinois, and he lit them up. There was a week, and this is about it, 1 week period in history where people talked about him as being in the Heisman conversation. So what a story, what a story arc of Graham Mertz at quarterback in college football so far.
Now, Josh, what does Graham Mertz need to do this game tomorrow night to win, or do you take it out of his hand and play to your strength, which is the offensive line in the running game?
I think that here's what's beautiful about this game. Both teams think a more physical game favors them. Someone's going to be wrong, someone's going to be right. My personal inclination would be, let me try and limit that risk, because I picture Utah just going full Venus flytrap. They sit there and wait on you to give them the game, and then they'll clamp down on you whenever you're where they want you to be. Really good secondary. Utah is going to rely on their ground game. Utah will have a very slimmed down passing attack and package in place if it is not Cam Rising. And so, what do? Do you trust the young receivers you have at Florida? Do you trust their yards after catch potential? Do you buy into what you've sold about Graham Mertz? Or do you say, even if that is him, that's going to be several weeks down the line? We got to go survive out here. There are two schools of thought there. That's one of them. The other one is, let's just let it all hang out. Let's throw caution to the wind. Let's be ultra aggressive. That's how championships are won sometimes. It's also how games are lost in week one sometimes. So I would lean towards the more conservative approach, because I think if I'm Florida, I can win playing that style out there.
We're talking with Josh Pate. He will be out in Salt Lake with the game kicking off tomorrow. You can definitely check him out, Late Kick with Josh Pate. You can find that on any of your social channels. And I want to get to FSU, LSU with the time that we've got as well, because that's a massive football game. I'm still ticked off at the NCAA for not having Mason with 2 A's in this game, but you're talking about a lot of good talent on both sides of the ball. What do you see when you look at this matchup?
Well, going right back to what we just talked about. So in week one, when you see these games lost sometimes, those defensive guys, those difference makers in your front seven, I think play a disproportionate role in throwing games into chaos in week one. Just because it's college, everything can be discombobulated. Well, you've got it both sides here. Even without Mason Smith, you got freaks up front for LSU. You got Jared Verse and those guys up front for Florida State. And so, you can believe in your quarterbacks all you want to, and both of these teams do. And I think there could come a time, or multiple times in this game, where that leads to pressure in the pocket, fumbles, interceptions, and all kind of crazy stuff that no betting model can forecast. And I don't know if it's going to be as ugly as last year's game was. I think it'll be played at a much higher and more efficient level. But I still think that's the determining factor. I mean, as much as I'm interested in that, though, I think the matchup everyone keys on, for obvious reasons, is the pass catchers, and I'm including tight end there, for Florida State against that revamped secondary. Because, that determines LSU's season in a nutshell anyway. And so they just get thrown right in the fire in week one. And I had a really, really slight lean towards LSU. But if/when I'm wrong, that'll be why I'm wrong. It'll be because they victimized them through the air.
All right, Josh, of the three quarterbacks at Alabama, who's the least likely to implode, and who's the one who basically gives you the best chance to win? Because that's what Saban's looking at, the guy that doesn't turn the ball over. Who do you think wins?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, because I think I'm not going to say Buckner. He's got more INTs, TDs in his career. I want to say Ty Simpson, but here's the thing. When you talk to their folks coming out of spring, they all thought Ty Simpson was going to win the job. And the reason he didn't is because he kept turning the ball over in spring. That's why we're even in this situation. And so the longer Jalen Milroe stayed in that thing, and the more and more likely it's become that they're just going to go full ground and pound, I don't know that I don't look at that now, and I don't know that the coaching staff isn't looking at it now and saying, well, if we're going to play that style anyway, let's have a guy that can throw it deep but is also a battering ram. He's like another running back in the backfield, because their intermediate passing game is not going to be what wins them anything this year. And running the football is going to be what wins them something this year. So if I'm going to do that, I'm going to roll with Jalen Milroe. Now, all of them are prone to turnovers, or have been. And so you're talking about a radically different style of play. You're talking about a non-quarterback-centric style of play with Bama for the first time in over half a decade. But I think they've got the secondary, and I think they've got the defense, period, this year to keep them in games to where they can afford to play that style, and that's not something I've said in the last few years.
Wrapping up with Josh Pate on the All-Pro Roofing Hotline. And Josh, as we look ahead to week 1 of the college football slate, what's a game that perhaps folks aren't talking about that perhaps, maybe if you want to get in on the action with a little money or even just want to tune in for that maybe people aren't talking about and you're going to be locked in on?
Well, I think people will be tuned into it because I'm going to talk to you about Colorado TCU. I think that one will get a lot of hype. Man, I think Colorado's going to get run out of the building. I think TCU will wipe them, and that number's 20.5, I think, right now. So that's a big number. I know it scares a lot of people away. I have very little issue laying that number with TCU in week 1. Line of scrimmage has always been and will always be the key to this game. Everything else is a Christmas ornament, but that's the tree. And I think that there will be a sizable mismatch along the lines of scrimmage in favor of TCU.
Josh, I was just going to ask you about that game with all the bravado of Deion Sanders, and I was going to watch that noon kickoff, and now you're telling me it's going to be a track meet. So, I mean, here's the thing, Josh. What if Colorado wins? I mean, Deion's going to be insufferable if he wins that game.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, I love Deion Sanders. So even though I want to be right badly, if I'm wrong about that, I will leave my show the next night with it. I can promise you that. I know he is very polarizing. I happen to be on the side that enjoys it, I guess because I don't have a dog in the fight either way. But I admire everything he's done. Like, make no mistake, that's a one-win team last year. So it sounds like I'm speaking ill of them. No, I'm saying in the best of cases, he was never going to be able to get this team ready to beat TCU week 1. But if that does happen, and crazier things have happened in this sport, you're right. That is wall to wall. I think that transcends college football and probably becomes like national mainstream news in week 1 if they pull that off.
All right, so last one, and then you got to give Gator fans details where they can find you with your show out in Salt Lake. But the Battle of the Carolinas, and I do think that this could be a really, really good one with Drake May v. Spencer Rattler. What's your lean there?
Yeah, that's the other one I was going to lean towards. This is one where this little computer in front of me that I like to rely on with the stats and data model and stuff, this is where I disagree with it because my numbers like North Carolina to win and cover, and I don't. I don't believe there's been any defensive improvement there. I don't believe you're losing that many defensive starters to the portal and not really replenishing and slowing South Carolina down. Here's my question. Chip Lindsey is the offensive coordinator now in North Carolina. Longo moved on. I think everyone just expects them to air it out and bomb away, and I'm not sure that's their approach. I actually think South Carolina may be more aggressive through the air than North Carolina is, and that is not the dynamic most people expect here. I think it's going to play to the benefit of South Carolina, though. I think they're going to end up winning outright as well as obviously winning with the points. And I think Shane Beamer and company will once again stand there in the postgame, and they'll be able to talk about how they were doubted, and they'll be able to paint themselves as the underdog the whole year. But I think they're going to win the game.
Pate just put my betting number on pause. That's what he just did right there. He just put it on pause. So we'll find out. All right, tell Gator fans and, for that matter, Utes, what's going on out in Salt Lake and how they can find you.
Well, we're going to head out there tonight. We'll do Late Kick live from out there, but it'll be 3 Eastern, 1 Mountain Time tomorrow. I think, don't quote me on this, I think we'll be inside the stadium for that. So nice. That'll be fun. And, hey, a nice, crisp, high forecast of 95 degrees of dry heat tomorrow in Salt Lake City. So we're all looking forward to it.
Word on the street, though, is 64 at night, though, Josh.
Yeah, it's going to be like landing at Burbank and then driving to Redondo Beach in L.A., sort of a microclimate sort of thing. You got to be careful. It's a very treacherous wardrobe decision when you travel out there.
Yeah, it's always going to be a white tee, though. All right, listen, bro, we appreciate it very much and encourage people to find out about Late Kick. Subscribe if you haven't, and we appreciate your time.
I appreciate you having me.
All right, man. The Late Kick podcast, he will be out there, and I know Gator fans will probably show up and want to find that because, honestly, we can follow what he said. And Matt, I don't know whether this is, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, but more and more people are gravitating to the idea that Billy may have something, that merch may be something, whereas, I don't know, as little as 3 weeks ago, no one was really buying that stock.
Yeah, I think it's easy to go there because the season's now here.
Yeah.
So you've got more people
and you start
kind
to
of
believe.
hoping that,
you just
right?
get excited.
Well,
always
always the Jags August, always the Gators
yeah.
August as well.
I think what he has is a much better defense.
Yeah.
He's got much better players on defense. They've got a very good offensive line, very similar to last year, a good running game, as long as he doesn't turn the ball over.
And they got a wounded Ute.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about you talking. I'm talking about in general
Yeah,
the season.
yeah.
As long as they don't turn the ball over, that defense is going to get better with each week. I mean, they have a chance to do more than what many people believe they'll be at, like 5-7 or 6-6.
Yeah, and they do have some players. Wilson, Andy, Gene, those are guys that have stepped up immediately in the receiving game.
Yeah, not just the refreshment. Like the last two classes, he's got a lot of talent in those last two classes.
Yeah.
And they're all going to play. A lot of these guys are going to play, and it's going to take time. They're going to make mistakes, but they'll make plays, too.
And the one thing that will, I think, drive Gator fan crazy, you guys can hit the text line or the YouTube channel and tell us what you think. But
just have patience.
But Billy, better, like that line, like Leon's talking about, knock people off the ball, get to some physical run game, which is Montrell and Trevor Etienne, because those are two stars that need to be showcased. So,
While we were on the phone with Josh, a bit of news in the National Football League.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Leon, how many players did you say yesterday that suddenly found themselves without a job?
920.
Of that 920, only 24 were claimed. And of the 24, 6 of them were claimed by the Arizona Cardinals. None.
6 quarterbacks?
Right, exactly. No, none of them were actually quarterbacks, and none of those 24 overall claims were made by your Jacksonville Jaguars. Perhaps the most interesting name that was claimed, I didn't even know he was waived. Speaking of South Carolina, former corner Darius Rush, a 5th-round pick of the Colts, among the crazy things the Colts reportedly did yesterday, waived him. He has been claimed as the good get better by the Kansas City Chiefs.
And he's a guy that, if I go back in time, I believe Matt liked coming out of the draft. So that's definitely one to keep your eye on. All right, let's head into the 1 o'clock hour. React to that college football talk. FSU, where you at, Noel fan? LSU. I've already heard from Big Vic, next door man. He is fired up for that game.
Go
Where you
Tigers.
at? And then, of course, you've got the Carolina game, Duke, Clemson, all those. Jump in on them. It is XL Primetime.
Cruising with XL Prime Time in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Day by day
A tremendous return. It's 1st and goal, Jacksonville.
and play-by-play.
And the Jags are going to win it in Wembley Stadium.
1010XL.
Joe Seifert, the Preferred Group, Preferred Roofing, Preferred Builders, companies that really do a good job from the jump. And that is absolutely in a busy, busy construction world. There's a lot of competitive people out there trying to make sure they get your work, but you want the work that's done to be right. So make sure you check out a local company, preferredroofingjacks.com, especially with all that rain. If you're looking around, you got leaks, you need repairs, you need replacement, go with that local company, preferredroofingjacks.com. And if you're thinking about remodels, additions, brand new, they can do it. Start to finish, preferredbuildersjacks.com.
Did you know the new 2023 Honda Accord Hybrid has an onboard system that charges the battery so you never have to plug it in? When you think Honda, you think quality, value, safety. Now think hybrid. Visit your local Honda dealer and experience the car of tomorrow today.
It's tailgating season, friends, and nobody makes better hot dogs that sizzle on the grill than Hoffman Sausage Company. Pick up some Hoffman Natural Casing German Franks at a Publix near you for a ridiculously tasty tailgate or for your next cookout. Experience a little bit of upstate New York history right here in your own backyard. For expert tailgating tips, recipes, and more, visit HoffmanSausage.com. Taste tells since 1879. Available at Publix.
Mia here, and I want to talk to you about something that will transform your life. With Motto Clear aligners, only available at Aspen Dental, you can now achieve a beautiful smile with doctor-directed care. And for an affordable price, Motto is the smarter way to straighten your teeth. Start today and get $100 off with their Summer of Smiles event. What are you waiting for? Visit aspendental.com/Motto aligners to find a location near you and take the first step toward creating your new smile.
Beat the heat at Best Bet. We're paying out over $600,000 during the month of August with events like our $1,500 high hands. The action is on fire and there are tons of daily poker tournaments going on all month long. Come play the hottest games, including Ultimate Texas Hold'em, 3-card poker, 1-card poker, DJ Wild, and Pai Gow. Stay cool this month at Best Bet. For more information, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Atlantic Self Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dreamfinders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamfindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
Hey Jacksonville, this is 17-time PGA Tour winner Jim Furyk inviting you to join me and the legends of the PGA Tour for the 3rd annual Constellation Furyk and Friends presented by Circle K, October 2 through 8 at Timaquana Country Club. Public parking is free, along with complimentary tournament access for our military, courtesy of ViStar Credit Union. Go to Ticketmaster to get your tickets today, and if you're not traveling to London, but watch the Jags this fall, join us Sunday morning in the Publix Tailgate Village to catch the game on the big screen. For more information, visit ConstellationFurykandFriends.com.
This is Sheridan Tootin, Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, and Dr. Kevin Murphy put my right shoulder back together a few years ago, and I'm still feeling great. Now I'm using PRP treatment for my knee pain. No matter what you're dealing with, if you're enduring any orthopedic issue, my only recommendation is Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Call us at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist if you ever have a need.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
What's the major difference between a crocodile and an alligator? The answer next.
Lightning, storms, and hurricane winds can ruin recent home improvements. Let Southern Oak Insurance review your policy today. Visit us online at southernoakins.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
While an alligator will see you later, a crocodile will see you after a while.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. I'm Taylor Dahl for 1010XL. We have heard a lot of hype around Florida wide receiver Ricky Pearsall this offseason, and several award watch lists he has been added to. Now rookie Eugene Wilson III is getting some recognition as he was added to the Sean Alexander Freshman of the Year award watch list, the first Gator in program history to be added to this list. And the Gators kick off tomorrow against Utah. Florida writer Scott Carter listed 5 newcomers Gators fans should keep an eye on. In addition to Eugene Wilson, he lists Graham Mertz as he looks to reboot his career in Gainesville. Jordan Castell, a surprise, earning a nod at starting safety as a true freshman, and Tony Livingston, an offensive lineman turned tight end out of Tampa, co-starting with Dante Zanders. It's 82 degrees at 102. Time and temper brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
1 o'clock hour is here, and we're looking like we're clean and green just as far as the storm goes. Hopefully, everybody is good to go out there. XL Primetime, Joe C., me O'Brien, Matty Hayes, Big Search. You can see all four of us right there on the YouTube channel, and then JJ, the special JJ window of illusion out of the producer's room. You can also find that at YouTube. Just search 1010XL, and JJ kicking out a lot of dreamscape songs, even though the dream might be dead within the first hour of our show, that it was being reported out in the Bay Area that Nick Bosa was going to get a deal done. The 49ers were going to get a deal done. Trust us. But, look, we were dreaming.
It felt good, though.
It's okay to dream.
Yeah, for those.
And by the way,
6 minutes.
Yeah, I don't remember many of my dreams, but this one was fun for a while.
It was.
You know, since we talked about dreams, now I said that I don't dream a lot, but now I feel like I do.
Oh, yeah.
Now I've been like, oh, yeah, that was something, but I don't remember it immediately when I wake up. But I was just like, I was thinking about something. I guess that counts as a dream.
Why you got to keep the pad and pencil next to your bed? Man.
They're not important.
Right.
Doesn't matter. It's
well,
fake.
you think they're not.
Mine are meaningless.
Oh, I know they're not.
Yeah, mine are just total meaningless dribble out of my brain. I don't want
my
so
girl.
Mine,
I don't want my girl knowing what I'm dreaming about, bro.
Well, that sounds like a whole nother problem.
Here's the
Who
question.
knows what it is? I don't even know.
Here's the question. When you dream, do you ascend or descend?
What does that mean?
Do you go high or low?
Oh, high all the time.
Good dreams are bad. Good dreams are bad dreams.
All the
JJ.
time.
Oh, is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's
okay.
right.
And
you
every once in a while I get a
only
bad.
have good
No, every once in a while I get
Who,
a
me?
bad.
No, Matt.
Every once in a while I get a bad. I
You're
also have
bad.
dreams like I'm a Fed agent and stuff like that.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, see, I don't have that imagination
What?
working. I got
Oh,
some
yeah,
just,
bro.
like,
Yeah,
bizarre things that if you tried to put them together, they wouldn't make sense at all.
I do that too. I totally do that.
Wouldn't make sense at all. But like I said, I spend a lot of time just standing in line or trying to get a job done that can never be completed. And I don't know why it is, but that's just the stuff that I
Leon
always
brought
have.
the most garlicky smelling thing into the studio.
I think
it
it
I
might.
did too, bro.
Yeah.
I
Did you-
brought dorm room
pizza.
Dorm room pizza.
You're talking dirty to me, and I kind of like it.
Did
And
you
Matt
nuke
Hayes
it?
was appalled by it. He was
I
like,
wasn't
oh, man,
appalled.
oh my
I just
God.
said, you know,
Day-old pizza,
Day-old
God
pizza,
forbid.
God
that have been sitting
forbid.
out on the table overnight. And I said, you know how many microbes are on that thing?
In the box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
exactly.
JJ said, you don't even know what a
You-
microbe is.
First of all, you've eaten worse in college.
Yeah.
To which
As
I
long-
responded, do you?
Have you? Did
As
you
long
eat
as
neither do
there's
they.
So you're trying to tell me in college you didn't have a box of pizza in your dorm room?
When
near
I
your
was
bed?
19, yeah, I did.
Did
bro.
you eat
Yeah,
it?
And
absolutely.
you die then.
Yeah, what's
and
the
by the way,
problem?
Well, I
if you
might have
walk up-
died, but
if you walk up to it and there's no
Exactly.
bugs walking around it, then
exactly.
it's
Next thing-
microwavable.
next
but
thing you
I
gonna tell
kind
me-
of think I've evolved now
No,
since
you
I'm an
haven't.
adult.
No, you haven't.
it's
Next thing you're gonna tell me you
microwavable.
don't drink out of a water faucet, of a water hose.
No, all the time. I still do.
Okay.
In fact, 2 days ago when I was cutting the lawn, absolutely grab the hose, drink
There
it.
it
you go.
is. There
And
it
so that means you could take an old slice of pie out of a box, throw it in the microwave.
When
for
I
a
was
good
cutting
30
the lawn
seconds.
and pushing the lawnmower, I don't have one of those,
Oh, of course you do.
self-propelled
Wasn't
crap.
there a water boil
I think you do.
advisory
You just
the
don't
other
know it.
day?
No,
Watch this,
I
watch
sent
this.
you the video. It's
Watch
not
this.
self-propelled.
It was. I think
Do you-
we all agreed it was self-propelled.
Have you kissed your dog?
Today,
Oh,
yeah.
you let your
multiple
dog
times.
lick you on the mouth?
There it is, that part.
Bro, my
And
dog
you
is
worried about
my dog is way cleaner than that pizza.
Yeah,
I can tell you that right
lies,
now.
and
Okay, I'm going to disagree
He
with
licks
that.
himself.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with that. They do stuff that we
Yes,
can't
exactly.
or wish we could. I don't know. But
Exactly.
there is no way.
Yeah, but I don't even think about that.
So, Joe, you don't let the little ones
No,
lick you in the
Frank,
mouth?
Frankie's not.
Okay,
No.
good.
And Jane is just over.
Wait,
the
who says
top.
I'm letting him lick me in the mouth? I'm saying I
what we
kiss
just
him.
That's what I just
said.
asked you.
Yeah, I'm just kissing him. I don't let him lick me in the
Oh, that's
mouth.
different.
Oh, okay,
You're like
that's-
kissing their head.
Like his head, yeah.
Okay, that's
Okay, I thought
different.
you kissed
But
him.
I
there's
bet
plenty
you-
of dog
I-
owners out there that
Yeah.
let the dog kiss him in
I
the mouth.
guarantee
bro.
you they are licking your face.
By the way,
I know it. I
Why do you
guarantee
say
it.
that? No,
That's
they're
lying.
not.
Yeah, I can guarantee it.
High Tide on the South Side wants you to know, Matt. Do you know how many microbes are in a hamburger?
Does he?
Little known fact. By
And
the
neither
way,
do they.
I think High Tide
that's
may
why
have
they're
sent me some
microbes.
interesting facts, which we may have to start using on the show because there are some really
Oh, boy.
interesting facts.
Well, before we hit some interesting facts, let's get back on the track with the National Football League and waiver claims. Again, in case you missed it, 24 claims made by across the league, I should say, although 6 of them were made by one team, the Arizona Cardinals, none made by your Jacksonville Jaguars. And so all those players they waived yesterday now have the opportunity to return to the Jaguars practice squad. We know of 2 so far. Nathan Rourke is staying in Duval. Rourke fans, Maple Minshew fans, rejoice throughout the greater Duval area
the Mountie Minshews.
and north of the border as well. The Jaguars also, according to Matt Lombardo of FanBuzz, are re-signing Deshaun Dixon to their practice squad. Last year as an undrafted free agent, the Norfolk State product did make the 53-man roster. Now he will remain in Jacksonville on the practice squad, and obviously a guy who the team converted to an inside-outside guy and said to him, that's probably your best chance to make the 53 or at least stick here in Duval.
I think what we tend to do is that making the 53 is a big deal, especially when you see a better football team. And I really have gotten into it big time this year. That's why, we were excited to see like an Elijah Cooks that I was rooting for make it. But this will probably be the last time we'll talk about the
Thank
53.
God for that.
Yeah, because we will be zeroing in on, okay,
Trevor, Ridley,
it's
ETN,
that offense
Trayvon.
versus that defense.
Right.
It's this run game versus that rush defense. I mean, this is now. It's let's play, let's ball.
Yeah, it's all about the first. It's all
Ones
about
on ones.
It's all about the core of your team, the nucleus of your team. You're starting 22. Can they survive the 17-game schedule? Can they play at an elite level on both offense and defense side of the ball? Can you stay healthy? Can you play to the expectation? I mean, these expectations of the Jaguars are probably as big as when I was freaking playing. I mean, you go to a playoff game, you win it, you go toe-to-toe to Kansas City, you lose it. The next year around, everybody's got you in their top 10 as far as power rankings go. They've got Trevor on a big board for MVP. I mean, all those things factor in, and now it's just can you live up to the hype?
I got that's going to make Matt's skin crawl.
That just happened.
Love it.
Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Josh Peterson is being re-signed to the practice squad.
Oh,
I don't care.
He made it.
Yeah.
We did have somebody.
He's definitely good enough.
I mean, imagine if Herb had signed Timmy back to the practice squad.
Oh my
We had someone on the text line designed by
wasted one of 16 spots.
We had someone on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures who asked if he'd become an offensive quality control coach. I don't know where
This
you
is
came up
even
with
worse.
that. Like, he's still 25? Like, he could still play. It's okay.
Can he?
I mean, he has an NFL body, and he has played the tight end position in high professional, not the NFL, but actual professional leagues. He caught touchdowns at Louisiana Monroe against FBS opponents, which is more than our boy Timmy, who we love. But
Our boy coach was saying he was getting ragdolled all over the place.
See, offensive quality control guy.
yeah, that's what someone
I mean,
on the
back
text
in the
line
day,
threw out
they were called snitches.
You know what that is?
Snitches.
That's giving my son $200,000. What it is.
Honestly, it was a $250,000 kiss.
It's keeping
which
his
is okay.
grandson in town too. I
Right,
don't blame
and
him.
mom can be very happy about that. I don't mind I'll put it to you this way: if Garrett Prince can develop into something, if these other guys that have come on out of the practice squad, I got no problem with it. None.
Look, if they were 4-13 last year,
Yeah.
this would be a problem.
Well, of course.
But since they were where they were,
weren't.
yeah, now it's no problem at all.
And so, and you know what Doug is? Doug's the lovable Doug.
Right.
And so
he can do no wrong.
Yeah, right now he'll go unquestioned. And if they are, they only carry 3 tight ends. And if he gets signed to the practice squad, you never know.
Oh, is Garrett Prince on the practice squad?
We haven't heard yet.
Yeah, I haven't heard
So,
yet.
if they put this guy on the practice squad over everyone that the media was drooling over, that's
it's a
an
kiss.
issue.
Well, it's a kiss. And if you like Matt said, we all will say,
It's not going to matter. But
They
I'm just
usually
saying.
keep 2 tight ends on the practice squad, or at least they did last year.
And here's the other beautiful thing about it: it went from 10 to 12 to 16, and so now you've got basically over a 3-year period, an extra half dozen players that have been added.
And technically, you have 17 because you also have IO.
I mean, I don't have a
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, that's
I
true.
don't have a problem with it either. But here's the conversation in the meeting room when his son comes in. Hey, listen, son, you want to get cut, but hold tight. We're gonna have a roster spot.
Yeah,
that's between father and son having that kind of conversation.
I'm shocked he cleared waivers. Shocked.
You know what, man?
Literally
you're a
every
hater,
Jag
man.
that
You're
was
a hater. You know that?
I mean,
every
come on.
Jag cleared waivers.
Everybody rips Tebow with Herb, and again,
But that's not
we all know
Herb's
Herb's a turn,
son.
but that's still.
Well, you were also
not part of the
It
question.
is Herb's son.
Wait, you know.
Didn't you watch the documentary?
No,
Right.
Actually, I
when you
did
watch that documentary,
No, I
you'll
did
see
not watch it. I did
it's
not watch it.
definitely
Everyone
Herb's
was
son.
so panicked about Seth Williams and Jacob Harris getting snatched, and guess what? Now they have a chance to come back to the practice squad.
Exactly. And listen, I was rooting for Timmy, but I also think that might have been a little play on Herb's part. We can all look back and probably agree on that.
Oh, totally agree.
But the total difference, as much as I was rooting for Timmy, this young man has played that position his career.
Yeah.
So that does mean something as far as trying not fitting us square into a round peg. they are looking at a guy that plays that position.
Yeah.
May not play it well enough to make
the
it
whole
national
season
football.
XFL.
And if Garrett Prince doesn't get re-signed to the practice squad, then what?
He probably got more money somewhere else.
And I probably still mean same thing I said a minute ago. It's a kiss. It is a kiss. It's a
So
big
with
old,
the practice squad, you can get offered more money by a different team?
There's a minimum, but there may be some sort of bonus or incentive program. Or they said to him, hey, listen, this roster's only keeping X amount of tight ends, and we want to promote you each and every week.
And
so
there are
teams that certainly can reach out and barter that way.
Yeah. And if you come off of someone else's practice roster to the active roster, you got to keep them, that type of stuff. And so there's definitely little rules and regs that go along with it. But just happy to see this team coming together. Like I said, we won't mention the practice roster much more
Please no.
after today, and that includes Josh Peterson or Josh Dieterson. And so now you're just basically looking ahead, ones-on-ones, good on good, who you got, and all that type of stuff, which will be fun. And we mentioned it just a little bit, but we should mention it more. The fact that Jonathan Taylor is not part of the first month of football for the Indianapolis Colts, that is no bueno for Anthony Richardson, and it is all good for Duval, because that was, you could argue, the best player offensively on that football team. Best player.
Oh, easily. And you got Anthony Richardson, who's a rookie quarterback. I always say that any a good running game is good for a rookie quarterback. And you got your best weapon, who just 2 years ago was, amongst the MVP candidates. So, and I can't assess this ankle injury. I don't know if it was hurt. I don't know if it's real or not, whatever. But I know that the first 4 games he's out of playing, and he's still got he's still got 2 more years in his contract, and he can go through this whole process again. At some time, he's got to ask himself, do I want to play football?
Yeah, well, yeah, and he just feels like, I think he's playing for somewhere that he might be on the last year of this deal. Anyway, he's around $4 million. And when you consider, obviously the running back market is tanked, but still he's on the same level as a Saquon, as a Josh Jacobs, as these guys, and he's making 40% of what they're making.
Well, listen, if his agent was smart, just negotiate a 1-year deal to where he's making somewhere between 10 to 12 million, and then he can be out of there. But I don't think the Colts will be willing to deal him that way.
No. All right, we'll keep it rolling. Golf Club of Southampton. It's sadly, I checked in with Cowboy Chris out there, and right now with the weather the way it was, we were hoping we could construct a 9 after 5. I may even plan a revolt on Derek DeStefano, all the Vals except you.
What was the expectation for dinner tonight?
Well,
was it taco night?
Well, no, we were just going to raid the fridge. We were just going to go in there and whatever was left from Chef Gary's cooking. So we may not see the golf course today, which is a bummer, but they'll be back open, ready to rock and roll tomorrow, any day of the week, 287 play. Make sure you check out the Golf Club of Southampton.
And what rhymes with the word play?
Yeah. Zay?
You want to talk to Zay?
Yes.
We'll do that next, coming up on XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Brunell wants to run at the 20 and leaps a defender. Incredible leap over Mike Magruder, who's left holding his jockey shorts.
Jaguars pride forever. 1010XL.
The Internal Revenue Service is reported to be receiving $80 billion in additional funding for the 2022 tax year for unpaid tax enforcement. There has never been a budget increase this large in the history of the IRS. All of this funding is for more revenue officers and collecting delinquent taxes. If you owe the IRS, you have a short time to get your tax issues resolved or face financial devastation. J. David Tax Law is right here in Jacksonville and provides tax relief for all personal payroll and sales tax problems. They've achieved thousands of successful outcomes for their clients, and that's why their reputation speaks for itself. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, do your research to see why J. David Tax Law is the most effective option to relieve your tax burden. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777 or at jdavidtaxlaw.com.
how's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy classic wings, sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
Wingstop is here, and we're serving up some serious flavor. Classic wings, boneless wings, tenders, chicken sandwich, we have it all. Download the Wingstop app or order online at wingstop.com from the new Wingstop at 96604 Argyle Forest Boulevard.
Mia here. Football is back, and so is winning season at MyBookie. Look, if you're anywhere near as fired up as we are this season, you've got to get a bet in on the action. NFL, college football, and a brand new cash-out system. MyBookie gives you options to bet and win all season long. First two legs of your parlay hit, cash out early and use the funds on another bet, or let it ride for the chance at a bigger payday. To get started, go to mybookie.ag now and register for an account for free. When you're ready to make your first deposit, just use promo code 1010XL to grab a welcome bonus on the house. You could still even bet on futures like win totals and Super Bowl winners. Maybe even one on the Jags? So sign up with that promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit bonus and, for a limited time, a free chip to use in the MyBookie casino. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
Have high cholesterol? At risk of heart disease? You are not alone. Westside Center for Clinical Research is hosting a Sip and Science event. Join Dr. Michael Koren and Dr. Jackson Downey at this free RSVP-only event. Learn how you can reduce your risk of heart disease. Join us Wednesday, September 13th at 6 p.m. Free mocktails and hors d'oeuvres provided. That's why it's called Sip and Science. RSVP at EncoreDocs.com. That's ENCOREDOCS.com. Don't wait. Take charge of your heart health today. EncoreDocs.com.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, an equal opportunity employer.
College football is coming. Celebrating another season of college football.
This should be fun to watch.
College football kickoff week on 1010XL is brought to you by
QC Kinetics.
Let the games begin.
Let's do it. Come on.
Rejoice!
The blockbuster event of the summer is here.
Outrunning a helicopter isn't exactly what I had in mind for my beach getaway.
But this isn't another full-throttle action movie. It's the Nissan Thrill of the Drive sales event.
Wait, what?
Featuring the action-packed 2023 Nissan Rogue and Nissan Sentra, with sport modes that give the performance of a lifetime.
Stealing my spotlight.
And now comes the real star of the show.
Get 0% APR financing for 36 months on select Rogue trims. Availability is limited, so shop your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today.
Better hurry. These offers won't get a sequel.
For well-qualified buyers, 0% APR financing for 36 months on new 2023 Rogue excluding S-Trim and dealer stock. Example, 36 months financing at $27.78 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary. Subject to residency restrictions and NMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. Ends 9/5/23.
I-9 Sports inviting the youth of the First Coast to hit the field this fall and play their best ball. Registration now open for fall and winter sports. Just log on to i9sports.com for all the details. Ages 3 and up, making sports fun for kids and convenient for busy families. Brand new locations at Yancey Park on the north side and St. Joe's and St. Augustine. Plus, if you have a full team ready to play, bring them all and register as a team. i9sports.com for kids' fall and winter sports. Enter promo code 1010 for a discount.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
According to Josh Newman, as well as Josh Furlong of KSL, that is the media outlet in the state of Utah. The Mormon Church may or may not own it. The expectation at this point is that Bryson Barnes will be starting the opener for Utah under center against Florida.
It's interesting.
Is he ready, Matt?
I mean, he played in the Rose Bowl last year, so it's certainly not Cam Rising. Let's put it that way. So at the very least, if you're a Gator fan and you now know that Bryson Barnes is a starting quarterback at Utah, look, just go there and don't turn the ball over. Protect the ball, run the ball, play defense. Try and get a short field with a turnover. Try and manufacture a special teams play, a return that gives you good field position, or a return for a touchdown. Just don't play dumb. Get the game to the fourth quarter, and they can win the game.
How scary is Utah's run game, though?
It's very good. It's very. I mean, they returned 16 starters from last year.
They're
But
a
any
deep team.
any team that you put a brand new quarterback under center. Now, look, he's been getting reps with the ones the entire camp. So I wouldn't. He's going to be ready, but it's different when you're in a big game in a big situation against a defense that's fairly athletic and that can run.
Yeah, because I think one good point, and I don't know whether this will ring true or not with Utah, but if you're a Gator fan, you can at least worry, a little bit about this, Leon, is that it's not like Cam Rising went down with an injury and 6 days later they had to play a game. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They knew that he was not going to be anywhere close to 100%. So who you can go with Barnes or who's the other kid, Nate?
Johnson, I think his last name is.
And so either one of those guys, they got all the reps.
Yeah,
the entire offseason.
I mean, their preparedness has been all spring long.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had to know that Rising was not going to. Well, they were maybe hoping. They were hoping that maybe he would, miraculously, be ahead of schedule when it came to his rehab. But for the last 5 months or 6 months, whatever, they've been.
They knew. I think
they knew. Absolutely knew. Their preparation was going into this game tomorrow for the last 4 or 5 weeks was that we were going to play with this guy. So, I mean, they're not alarmed by it, so this guy's been getting all the reps.
I would also like to note that this Josh Newman of KSL who reported this, once upon a time was the high school sports beat writer for the Asbury Park Press and once said I was too short to win a playoff game. So, yeah, he's legit. This is a legit source that is saying that Bryson Barnes is indeed.
There's a couple things right there. I don't know how you always have a connection to either Iowa or Jersey.
Yeah.
But number two, how you're holding on to that. You are definitely.
Oh, I hung it up on my bedroom wall. Yeah, him and Rob Ziegler. That was the other high school sports writer back in the day.
He said you were too what?
I was too short. That was because I played goalie. That was the reason.
Oh, listen, I hold on to stuff too. Greg Cody out of Miami.
Yeah.
When I was a recruit at the University of Miami, he said I'll be a 5-year backup.
Wow.
Are you friends with it? No.
I'm good with him.
Yeah,
we're good.
Dude,
no, he's a great dude.
He's a really good dude.
But that article he wrote just inspired me because I remember I cut it out. I put it in my dorm. He said, Leon Searcy, 2-star recruit. He said, will be overwhelmed by the University of Miami. It'll be a 5-year backup. And I said, really interesting.
Yeah.
So when I got drafted, that's what I did. I called him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a good dude,
Very
though.
nice.
He's a good dude. Yeah, but I kept it.
I was going to say, do you get the show?
Yeah, because my old college teacher, when I left the University of Florida, he said, "You're not good enough. You won't make it."
Wow.
And then that would serve as fuel.
Doesn't that feel good though?
Yeah, when you're going in.
You prove
Well,
people
what
wrong.
were you studying?
No, this was journalism. I was going into radio. He said, "You're not ready." And anyway, it was the great.
He
Larry.
said, "You're not ready."
Yeah, it was the great Larry Vittel, and he ended up later on going.
Larry Vittel said you're not ready.
Right. Now, some people may agree still right now to this day, but he ended up coming back later going, Joe, I was wrong.
That must have been a gut punch.
Oh, it was a gut punch. I don't believe it. So, yeah, I'm guessing we all have that fuel. You get fired one time, that's
course.
fuel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's for sure. So, and just to tie this together, the fuel for Florida, just going back to what you said, make a play.
They've heard for 9 months how they suck.
They have been told.
And then Graham Mertz is a failure.
Yeah, and Graham Mertz probably has a little bit of that fuel. And you know what? They may come out tomorrow night and look like the same old Gators from last year and drive every Gator fan nuts. Because the one thing that I've been preaching during the offseason is that the product needs to look better. Okay, they can't be outperformed by Vandy. They just can't. It is the University of Florida. They have good football players that they can recruit. And Billy does need to prove that he's a good coach, that he can coach lesser talent to greater things. So that's the thing that I'm most interested in seeing. Is it a clean, organized football team that's starting to look the part?
So Napier made a really good point at SEC Media Days, and I think we've all kind of overlooked it. He keeps talking about the 32 starts that Graham Mertz has. He keeps saying he's a guy. It's the first thing he says every time. Well, he's a guy that's 32 starts. And he doesn't say it, but he's saying it without saying it. The guy he walked into last year had one career start.
Mm-hmm.
So his point is this guy has seen everything. Everything any defense could possibly throw at you, he's seen it. It doesn't mean he's better than Anthony Richardson or more talented than Anthony Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
What it means is Anthony Richardson got stumped every once in a while. And he said we were very up and down last year. And if you look at it, okay, you beat Utah, you get embarrassed by Kentucky when Anthony Richardson said, I'm lost.
Yeah.
His quote after the game was, I'm lost now. Then you beat South Florida and you shouldn't have won the game. South Florida, which was a terrible team last year. Then you come back, play well against Tennessee, right? Still lose the game, but played really well. Then you got Eastern Washington, who cares? Then you got Missouri. Missouri was a bad team at that point, and AR threw for 66 yards in that game. So you're still down at that point. Then he plays well against LSU, but they still lose the game because LSU's peaking. Then they play Georgia. Again, AR's peaking. He's rising again. He played well in that game. But it's Georgia, you lose that game. And because he's rising, you go on the road, you beat A&M. You come back home against South Carolina, you win by 32. A South Carolina team that beat Clemson and beat Tennessee a couple weeks later. Then you go on the road. You're back down again because you don't know how to deal with success. You lose to Vanderbilt when he throws the ball in the end zone. The Hail Mary play. The next week, you go to Tallahassee. Your defense gives up 2 huge scrambles to Jordan Travis. Your quarterback, on a 4th down throw, throws it 15 feet over a wide open receiver's head. So his point is, at least I have a guy who has played 32 games. He's seen everything. He understands everything. He's not going to be fazed by anything. And if you have a quarterback who's not fazed by anything, even if he's not playing well, as long as he stays out of trouble, you've got a chance to win games.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see.
Yeah, but does Graham Mertz win those games for you that Anthony Richardson won for you last year?
That's a great question.
Does
he beat Utah last year? Yeah, I don't know.
Unpredictability of Anthony Richardson, which made him so dynamic.
So okay, and I'll throw that back to you right now.
Yeah.
Does he beat him? Maybe Doug probably doesn't beat Utah. Does he beat Kentucky? Maybe.
It's not making mistakes and making plays. That's really what.
Does he beat LSU? They made mistakes in that LSU. Does he beat LSU at home? Maybe. So I mean, there's definitely different ways to look. Does he beat Vanderbilt on the road?
God, I hope so.
Does he win that Florida State game on the road?
Well,
they get him at home this year, Joe. At least there's that.
Anchor down. All right, now let's go quickly to the conversation that we promised you. Zay Jones, as a guy that, talk about maybe, you don't have to say maybe anymore, at least right now, for the football team. This time a year ago, people were wondering or saying maybe about Zay. Now they know he's a player. So let's hear that conversation you had with him.
All right, here we are. Mia and Zay, first fireside chat of the 2023 season. Cut day around the National Football League. Emotions for you, a guy who obviously is a veteran on this team, but knowing that cuts have to be made.
Yeah, I'm grateful to be here. It's always hard on this day. It never gets easy. A lot of guys who put in a lot of work are not here. So it's a sad moment. But for the guys that made it, praise to God, blessed to be here, thankful to be with this group, and I never want to take these moments for granted, even after 7 years. It's been an honor to be a part of an NFL team.
Speaking of the number 7, as of now, 7 wide receivers are on this active roster. Surprised, happy, I'm sure, to see this many of the young guys that were able to be kept around as of now?
Man, it's awesome to see some of the guys that did get to make it and earned it, rightfully so, and Tim Jones being here, Elijah Cooks also being here, Parker Washington. So it's great to be with those guys, and it's an exciting time. We got veteran leadership in our room, and Coach Chad is fired up. Our receivers coach is thrilled to have us, and you just really feel the energy in the room. So it's a blessing for sure.
Let's talk about those first 2 guys. Tim Jones is obviously a guy I know you jumped into his arms when he caught that touchdown. What has he meant to this group the last year plus?
Tim is the epitome of what it means to be just a hard worker. And I look up to him in that aspect of things that he's done. It's not easy to be a wide receiver and also do all the special teams and do all the dirty work and do it with a great attitude, and it's something that I really appreciate. I've been a player who's been in that position, and to see the way that Tim's handled everything with grace, and then it's not given, he earns a 74, 75-yard touchdown in the game on a double move. they're just really, really encouraged and excited and happy for him. It was an awesome moment to have because he's just such a quiet, like, mild-mannered type person where he doesn't really do all the showboating and stuff like that. And so to see him come up with a huge play just meant a lot to me.
Emotions when you walk into the building this morning and Elijah Cooks is still in that wide receiver room.
He greeted me with a smile, and I was really happy for him. He's a young guy with a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, his humor, but he's earned it as well. I think when you turn on the tape through training camp, through the preseason games, the guy was always making plays. Big body, he's fast, he's strong, can go up and high point the football. It's just really awesome to see a guy like that come in here, I believe from San Jose State, if I'm not mistaken, to come in here and completely different element and just ingrain himself into the system and make plays. I mean, your hat goes off to a person like that, and I think he's going to be a great talent in the years to come for sure.
When did this wide receiver room realize what they had in Elijah?
For me, honestly, I can't say I saw it in the spring. It's hard because you're not, like, competing with the pads and doing things. I think it's when he started to make plays in one-on-ones. He made a really good catch over someone, I forget, and then he kind of pumped up the crowd after. You could see he had a sense of confidence. He just really was illuminating and didn't really seem like he was shy or fearful of competition or the moment. The moment never seems too big for him, and I think he is already a great player, and he's going to be a phenomenal talent, like I said, and I'm so glad he's on our team. Yeah.
Back to the game on Saturday, this offense goes up and down the field. Outside of the Tank fumble, I mean, there were no hiccups, it seemed like. Did it feel like there was any slowing down this offense?
I thought we executed very well to our standard and what we set out to do. I think this offense can be very potent with the people that we have, and it was awesome to see Luke Farrell touch the ball early, running backs get involved, a couple nakeds, get rid going. Christian came up with a huge fourth down. Me and Evan picking up some key blocks, offensive lineman pushing the pile, running backs hitting it, north. Trevor being pretty much accurate with the football and just taking command. And so it was exciting to see, I think, everything kind of come together for us. We still know that there's things that we need to be better at, but once we get a full game where everyone can be completely immersed in the system, I think it's going to be something to watch.
Last question from me. This is kind of that weird limbo week. And then you guys get the weekend off, and then you start preparation for the Colts. Where's your mindset at? Do you completely break away this weekend, or are you going to be watching a lot of Weather Channel?
So as far as practice goes, I think the wide receivers, we each came up with one thing that we could get better on this week, so that keeps us grounded and just provides that humility within the room that there's still things that we need to work on. Hurricanes never easy. They can always kind of get a little scary to a certain degree, especially if you're not a Floridian. But I feel like I'm well-versed, kind of a veteran with it from last year. So hopefully everyone stays safe out there and everyone's okay. And as far as football, there's going to be a couple of days where we get to reload, refresh, because we're about to go into the season, man. It's going to be for the long haul.
Who do the Pirates have on Saturday?
I think they have Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. I think so, yeah.
Go be locked in, or?
Pirates, man. Let's do it.
First fireside chat of the season in the books.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. Appreciate you, Mia.
Thank you, Zach.
I like Zay. He's a good dude. And this time last year, I guarantee you there are a lot of people like, good.
There's people out there that think.
I was one.
Yeah.
Right. A 3-3-3.
All three of them I was one.
Slot.
Yeah.
And here we are. In a world where certainly the expectations for Calvin Ridley in his first year in Jacksonville are sky high, there's also a school of thought, that could Zay Jones actually be the leading target getter, leader in targets, leader in receptions, just based off of if Calvin Ridley is your downfield threat, who is that median threat of the field on the field. Obviously, Evan Ingram is going to get targets. I think the beauty of now having both Zay and Calvin Ridley and potentially Christian Kirk stretching the field, and that opens stuff underneath Leon. So I think that will open up more for Evan Ingram, but it could also open up some nice out routes for Zay as well.
Listen, they're all going to be the benefactor of Calvin Ridley coming here. I mean, he's going to pose a threat. I mean, he start catching balls and start running those 9 routes. You want to roll the coverage to him, and that's going to open up the defense. It's going to open up, whether you're man or zone, those guys are going to get open. And I'll take my guys one-on-one with anybody in the league because they get separation. And they're all going to be benefactors of it. It's going to be, this team right here with Trevor in the running game and everything, how many points can we score?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be.
I'll tell you that coming up because I heard a number that just kind of blew my mind, but it's going to be fun to watch. We'll do that coming up. The Vari breakdown with the injuries, that's ahead as well. Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. This is The Swamp.
Snap back, looking left. Intercepted the floor. Florida gets the stop.
The season kicks off against Utah on Thursday, August 31st.
15, 10, to the house. Touchdown, Gators.
Kickoff at 8 on Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010XL AM.
This month, the Key Buick GMC receives special financing on GMC's rates as low as 0.9% for 36 months or 2.9% for 60 months and 4.9% for 72 months. Right now, save up to $10,000 on select new GMCs and no payments for 90 days. As always, a Key Buick GMC, whenever you buy a new vehicle, it always comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. We are professional grade. Key Buick GMC. Corner of Southside and Gate.
Sports injuries are a common issue for both adults and children. Dr. George Barry here, and as a specialist in orthopedic care, the team at Barry Orthopedics and Sports Medicine here in Jacksonville provides comprehensive diagnosis and treatments of all types of sports injuries. With additional training in sports medicine and more than 30 years of experience, the team is available to care for your entire family and help you have fun and stay active. Visit us today at barryorthopedics.com.
And don't forget to check out Breaking Bones Sunday morning, 7:30 on 1010XL.
Oakleaf people, the best wings in town are coming to you. Players Grill is expanding and opening soon in Orange Park. Watch your favorite teams and enjoy burgers, pizzas, salads, and more. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us, but for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy. Higher interest rates, 401ks. What I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 30th, 1905, Tigers future Baseball Hall of Famer Ty Cobb makes his MLB debut, doubling in a 5-3 win over the Highlanders.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Brackish Vodka, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is the smoothest local vodka you can find. Made right here in Jacksonville, Florida, 100% from corn, Brackish Vodka is the local gluten-free choice. Brackish Vodka, for those that live life slightly salty, a proud partner of the Jaguars.
Now you can enjoy Brackish Vodka at both Orange Blossoms locations in Jacksonville and Keystone Heights.
Introducing an exciting update from Duck Duck Rooter. We're thrilled to expand our services with the launch of Duck Duck Air Conditioning. As a fully licensed mechanical contractor, our skilled team is equipped to handle any air conditioning and refrigeration project you have in mind. Contact Duck Duck Air Conditioning today at 904-862-6769. That's 904-862-6769. Or visit us online at duckduckac.com. Duck Duck Air Conditioning, your reliable partner in air conditioning and refrigeration services.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, is home all week at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark. Tonight is ViStar Good is Everywhere Wednesday, featuring the Furick Foundation and its Military Appreciation Night. Tomorrow is Coors Light Thirsty Thursday. Then it's Red Shirt Friday with fireworks presented by ViStar Credit Union. The first 2,000 fans on Saturday get a mug courtesy of Maxwell House. Then kids run the bases and fireworks on Baptist Health Sunday Family Fun Day.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE, the medical providers at Prime Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most advanced treatments to eliminate ED and PE. 98% of men experience instant results on their first office visit. They're even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Don't just take our word for it. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now for our limited time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Beat the heat at Best Bet. We're paying out over $600,000 during the month of August with events like our $1,500 high hands. The action is on fire and there are tons of daily poker tournaments going on all month long. Come play the hottest games, including Ultimate Texas Hold'em, 3-card poker, 1-card poker, DJ Wild, and Pai Gow. Stay cool this month at Best Bet. For more information, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
This is Dr. Turner Vossler, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jaguars have adjusted their schedule this week due to Hurricane Idalia. The team held a brief indoor practice this morning, and all of the Jaguars' afternoon meetings have been canceled due to the storm. The Jags will practice tomorrow morning, and then head coach Doug Peterson and general manager Trent Baalke will meet the media to discuss their roster cuts. That's tomorrow afternoon at approximately 1:30. The team has announced its initial 53-man roster with perhaps more moves to come. You can find out more at Jaguars.com or at Jaguars on social media. The Jaguars kick off the 2023 NFL season next Sunday at the Colts. Kickoff at 1 o'clock next Sunday on 1010XL. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Just close my eyes again.
This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
There's no doubt in my mind that when they wrote this, they were high. And there was a lot of dreamscape in the beginning of that song right there. Okay, because they played a lot.
And this is a problem because
just a lot of licks. You're just sitting back going, oh, man.
I believe you can get me through.
Dude, this may
Leon loves this jam.
This may be the greatest song we ever wrote, man.
I think it's like Gary Weaver, right? Is that right, JJ?
Gary Wright.
Gary Wright.
There you go. Well, all I know is when I heard the opening notes, I thought it was Thriller at first, and I was like, why do we need Michael Jackson right now? I mean, you always need Michael Jackson, but.
But this is like going into a planetarium and just laying down on the carpet, and everyone's just like walking around you. The beginning of that song, you're just sitting back, just like, wow, man.
Trippy, man. Trippy.
Just take a look at it.
Did you guys ever do the stars on your ceiling? Or?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, we did it for the kids.
Did it for the kids, too.
Yeah, and they loved it. And
I loved it, absolutely.
I'm trying to remember if we, if...
They would stop glowing in the dark after like 2 months, but it's so fun.
And Matt and I, we couldn't afford that.
Do that.
But anyway.
Of course, Matt didn't even have a ceiling.
I didn't need to have fake stars. All I did do was look out my window.
Oh, yeah. But
anyway,
I
always had the curtains open and the windows open because there was no air conditioner.
There you go. See,
right.
There you go.
Looked right out the stars, man.
See, you notice now that when you look up, you can't see the stars like you did when you were younger.
I know.
Do you think there's less stars now?
No. I'm thinking that something's covering.
No, there's more.
Climate
there's more
control.
No, there's more. It's not climate. There's more
You think
there's more
there's
lights
a dome,
on the ground.
maybe.
There's more building.
I'm not saying
and
that.
construction.
I'm just
and
saying when I
lights.
was a kid, I mean, you would see the vastness of all the stars.
I know.
When you go when you go outside now, you're lucky to see
It's
a
the
twinkle
smog
star.
of the Og.
It's
is what
the
we call it down
lights
in,
from
in
the
the SJC.
When
From
you
the
go to
city.
Montana and there's nothing,
Yeah.
it's just all you see are the stars. They're so bright.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
Or are stars even real, Leon? I mean, who's to say?
they're actually,
I've
that
never
whole
been to
moon
one.
Don't
thing
let
they
anybody
did.
tell you it's global warming, man.
Oh no, I'm not buying all that stuff.
All right, now we're missing Gio with our Bari breakdown. He may have been scrubbed up and called into surgery, but we will have Breaking Bones Sunday morning at 7:30. We'll try and find him between now and then to pop on because definitely have a couple of sports injuries that we wanted to talk about with him, including Shohei just basically staying a batter or what's going to happen with him with that torn UCL, which happened last week. My goodness. All right, in the meantime, we're getting ready for the high school half hour. We got a VAT coming right now, so let's do it before Big Surge gets out of here.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
According to our good buddy John Shipley of Sports Illustrated Jaguar Report, it looks like Jacob Harris will be joining the Jaguars practice squad. It does not look like Garrett Prince will be kept in these parts, as he may be opting to sign on a practice squad elsewhere, according to Ship.
He may have said, as long as Josh is here, there's no room for me. You never know. But Garrett Prince actually, and this can happen, guys can get a bigger signing bonus to come join that. Remember Luke Barku, one of the guys that the Jags signed?
Well, that was when he was signed as an undrafted free agent
he was
rookie.
Originally, before he was ever
I would
even
think
on.
with Garrett, it's a matter of you go somewhere where perhaps the tight end room depth isn't that great.
Yeah.
And you say, well, I start on the practice squad. If they elevate me the first few weeks, I have the potential to move right in.
And shouldn't everybody do that, Leon? Just take a look at what the roster numbers are. This was a deep wide receiver room. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a deep tight end room. But look around, see what else is a possibility.
Well, yeah, you don't ever want to run from competition, but if you're going into a meeting room where you're on 4th, 5th, or 6th on the depth chart, whatever it may be, I mean, if you go to a place where they need tight ends and moves you up the ladder, yeah, absolutely.
He's probably looking across the room at Doug Peterson's
Yeah.
son.
Yes.
He's like, I can't compete
That's
with
exactly
that.
what he's doing. He's looking at Doug Peterson's kid there, and he thinks, all right, if one of those tight ends goes down, that's who's getting pulled up, not me.
But just based on play alone, enough people saw him and heard about him. That's got to be a huge boost. And I would think even Doug, as much as he's dad, if he had to bring somebody up from the practice squad, I would hope it would be Garrett Prince before Josh, because Garrett made plays. He definitely stood out and ran a lot of first-team drills if you go back to training camp.
And I think there was some hope of, well, perhaps he didn't flash during preseason games, but he did during practice, and so therefore maybe some teams didn't get wind of that. Obviously, potentially not the case, according to Shep.
Yeah. So if you just take a look, and I don't know how many do we have now as far as practice squad
So this
guys.
would mean that right
Nathan
now
Rourke,
Nathan Rourke, Jacob Harris, Deshaun Dixon, and Josh Peterson. So 4 of the 16, because obviously the assumption is that Io would return as the pathway player and thus a exempt practice squad
Yeah, he
member.
didn't
So
count.
17. Yep.
And by the way, a Dixon guy like that is looking like another developable front 7 guy that can move across that line. That's huge, and that's what this whole draft and develop theory is. I call it a theory because for a long time it didn't exist, and now this actual coaching staff has proven that this theory can be real.
Well, it existed. You just didn't have a staff that could do it. That's all,
So
right.
it's still a theory, but it does look like they're drafting and actually, I don't know, Leon, developing players.
Yeah. I mean, listen, anytime you can get a guy who make essentially, hopefully barring injury or whatever, I mean, a rotational guy, a guy that's been in the system, that's had success, you can develop him, eventually. I don't want to say anybody get hurt, but if those guys get moved up, you put plug and play. That's what you want. You want plug and play.
Yeah. And we'll find out whether Jeremiah Ledbetter develops into a player that does something for this football team. But you can use him as a shiny little poster child for this and just say, hey, stick around, put your work in, learn from the guys around you, listen to the coach, whomever it is. And Brinson Buckner, he's tasked with the idea of developing these guys and making them better players.
Yeah, he's doing a good job, too.
Yeah. If he does it, then good on him.
Yeah.
Good on him. All right, Big Sirs, you are out the door.
Yep.
Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Got it.
We got our high school half hour coming up. We got a lot of big ball games to look back on from last week and then look at the ones that are coming up this week. Most of them stayed on the schedule. Some of them did not. So Justin Barney will update us on that. But let's get back into 2 o'clock hour to start. before we hit the high school half hour, just with a couple of pieces of notes, either the waiver wire or what's happening in the college football world, because the countdown is on. Gators v. Utes, Gamecocks v. Tar Heels, those mighty Knowles against those Raging Cajuns, or the Bengal Bayou Tigers. All those big games we will get into coming up.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealers Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
Do you realize where we are? No. Look around, man. The clean, modern aesthetic, the cool blue color palette. We're in
1010XL.
Mia here and my friends over at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned are doing it again. They are fighting inflation and saving you even more. I'm going to call it Arlington's Inflation Fighter Special, because now that pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla I told you about, it's not $1,000 down. Nope, it is just $500 down and $288 per month. Or you choose a pre-owned 2020 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma, not $1,000 down. Nope, I am talking just half of that. That's just $500 down and $388 per month. And it doesn't stop there. Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned has over 400 used cars in stock, plus more than 100 vehicles under $18K. And you still get 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it for one that you do. Everyone agrees. Inflation? Bad. But now we can also agree on this. The Inflation Fighter Specials at Arlington Pre-Owned, oh so good. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
It's tailgating season, friends, and nobody makes better hot dogs that sizzle on the grill than Hoffman Sausage Company. Pick up some Hoffman Natural Casing German Franks at a Publix near you for a ridiculously tasty tailgate or for your next cookout. Experience a little bit of upstate New York history right here in your own backyard. For expert tailgating tips, recipes, and more, visit HoffmanSausage.com. Taste tells since 1879. Available at Publix.
Whether you are looking for a job or an employer trying to hire, there's only one stop in Jacksonville, Remedy Staffing. Labor trends keep us guessing. As employers, the job market's been strong. So what does that mean for workers' availability? If you're interested in the workforce solutions or how the Remedy team can help you, call or text Crystal at 904-329-9802. 329-9802, Remedy Staffing.
Legally Blonde comes to the Alhambra Theater for the first time ever next month. Lauren Brooks here. Make your plans for Ladies' Night now because this show is close to selling out. Everyone loves Legally Blonde, which starred Reese Witherspoon in the lead as Elle, who enrolled at Harvard Law to try to win back her ex-boyfriend. Plus, there's 2 dogs in the show. Legally Blonde begins September 28th. Get your tickets for Legally Blonde at the Alhambra for Girls' Night today at alhambrajacks.com. That's alhambrajacks.com.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
This is Hayes Carline here to help you break free from the chains of pest infestation. The talk of this town is Kingfish Pest Control. By now, many of your neighbors have already joined the Kingfish Revolution, leaving their homes and lawns protected and pest-free. Now it's your turn. Call Kingfish Pest Control and say goodbye to termites, ants, mosquitoes, and other annoying pests. Trust me, you'll get exceptional service and understand why your neighbors and I use Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
Mia here. Football is back, and so is winning season at MyBookie. Look, if you're anywhere near as fired up as we are this season, you've got to get a bet in on the action. NFL, college football, and a brand new cash-out system. MyBookie gives you options to bet and win all season long. First 2 legs of your parlay hit, cash out early and use the funds on another bet, or let it ride for the chance at a bigger payday. To get started, go to mybookie.ag now and register for an account for free. When you're ready to make your first deposit, just use promo code 1010XL to grab a welcome bonus on the house. You could still even bet on futures like win totals and Super Bowl winners. Maybe even one on the Jags? So sign up with that promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit bonus and, for a limited time, a free chip to use in the MyBookie casino. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
I want my Woody's barbecue.
For classic Southern barbecue that's been smoking since 1980, head for the Woody's Barbecue near you. University Boulevard at Atlantic, Powers Avenue just off University, Ponte Vedra at Solano Road, and also in McClenny. Bring the kids and enjoy the low and slow cooking that Woody's is famous for.
This is Woody Mills inviting you to Woody's Barbecue today. Come see us.
At Woody's Barbecue, it's what we do. Let's eat.
Active and pain-free. That's the ticket. Dr. George Barry here, and I know that's the goal of every patient I see. They want the best possible care so they can go back to enjoying life. That could be pickup basketball, golf, tennis, running, or just working out. It all requires you to be as healthy as you can be. If joint pain is taking its toll on your active lifestyle, come see me at Barry Orthopedics. We have locations all over Jacksonville and can diagnose and treat even the most severe joint pain. A homegrown Jacksonville practice. Find out more at barryorthopedics.com.
I'm RJ Saunders with your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update for 1010XL. The Seminoles have an opportunity to make a statement this weekend in Orlando. However, Mike Norvell urges his team to stay focused before their matchup against LSU.
Don't get distracted by the game week. You continue to focus on getting better. I love the game that we're getting to play in. I love the stage we're going to be on, but ultimately they can be distracting. And for us, you go and you improve. You take the lessons that are learned throughout the course of the week and you apply them, and you try to put ourselves in the best position to go out there and achieve at the highest level. And that's what I want to see, that sense of urgency, just to be better.
The Florida Gators go toe-to-toe against Utah tomorrow. You can catch all the action right here on 1010XL beginning at 5 p.m. It's 82 degrees at 1:59. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Our next guest is not affiliated with the NFL or Jacksonville Jaguars.
Discussion of injuries is solely based on opinion.
Now, the Barry Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Injury Breakdown.
I'm coming in hot.
Usually all scrubbed up, Gio comes rolling into the palatial studios to get in front of the YouTube camera. It's his thing, but he's busy. I mean, because we had the storm roll through here, and he had to stay right there on call. Am I right, Gio? Am I absolutely 100% right?
On call with the kids.
Exactly, yeah, because Duval County, they canceled a lot of classes, so that's that duty, daddy duty, always calls. All right, so we've got Dr. George Barry, fellowship trained under the renowned Dr. James Andrews, for a few before we turn him loose and we get ready for our high school half hour. So if you do have a sports injury question, you can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. Hit us with some. Now, I wanted to start off with this one from last week. You and I did this on Breaking Bones, but we didn't do it on XL Primetime. Shohei Ohtani with a UCL injury, now for the second time in his career, shut down as far as pitching, but still can be a hitter. Explain that, because I'm sure for some people they're going, wait a minute, torn UCL and he can still bat?
Yeah, so, UCL is a devastating injury for a pitcher. We all know all the stress that you get on the elbow when you pitch. Now, when you bat, there's still some stress on the UCL. However, you have some support because you have the other hand grabbing the bat, so there is some support on that arm. It's not as much stress as pitching is on it. So there are people who can bat with a UCL injury or a tear, but normally they don't bat as good as they did before. But it is still possible to be able to go out and bat. The question is going to be, how good is he going to be able to do?
Let's stay with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Doc, because all is not well in the city of Angels right now, especially with that ball club in particular, because in addition to Shohei, Mike Trout gets activated off of the 10-day IL after missing 8 weeks with a broken
Haymate.
Yep. I know, my favorite word to say. Bone in his left hand. And then was immediately put on the 15-day injured list just days later, and that was after sitting out a couple of games. And so essentially what the Angels front office is saying is that he will play again this season. It's uncertain how long he needs to recover from a major injury in his third consecutive season. And it just, I mean, it sounds like it's just the hamate bone again, at least from what I'm seeing. And so I'm just curious. I mean, the wear and tear on Mike Trout's body, I feel like we talk about him every week. Like, at what point is enough enough?
Well, you're right. He's always injured. Something's always going on for a long time now. And it could be the hamate bone. You know, the question is, did it heal correctly? And I'm sure they've done many CT scans to see, you know, if it's healed or not. But that's, you know, sounds like there's something going on with it. Is it just causing pain? It's possible it has healed. He just has residual pain from it, which is always a risk when you fracture something, right? It heals, but you still have pain. Or is it a healing problem, and he has maybe what we call like a partial non-union, where it's healed, but it's not 100%, but they told him, hey, let's go back and try, and now he's still having issues. So, you know, the fact that he's on the 15-day list makes me feel like it is fully healed. He's just having pain coming back. But those are the things you kind of worry about when things like this happen.
All right, real quick on Shohei, don't forget he pitches right-handed and bats left-handed, so that was a good point from the texter. So that's definitely worth remembering.
So that's actually a great point. That actually is even better. If he pitches right-handed, so it's his right arm with the UCL tear, and if he bats left-handed, it's actually his left arm that's going to have the stress on the UCL as opposed to the right. So that's actually an even better thing, a better thing for him to be able to go out and hit.
But I mean, George, let's finish up with Shohei too, because I think it's important. The injury, as you said, is devastating for a pitcher. This, you would think, would play a role in his contract negotiations with another team.
Like if
right?
someone's going to sign him for over $500 million,
I mean, you want him as a pitcher and a hitter. What are the odds of him becoming the pitcher that he was?
I mean, you know, there's studies on this, and there are obviously people that go back to pitch like they were, and then there's going to be a subset of people who do not come back like they were. It's usually around 30%. The question, I think, if I were his agent, I'd say, look, if I can sell him as a batter only, how much would he make? But if I can sell him as a guy who bats and pitches but just had a UCL, how much would he make? Because the question is going to be, if you do his UCL and he goes back to pitches, you may roll the dice and say he's going to come back normal. But what if he doesn't? What if he comes back subpar? And then that's going to be the risk that you take.
Could he be like a closer even? If you limit the number of throws?
Absolutely. You know, as long as he gets his speed, you know, or he has great control of the ball, he can definitely be a closer. You know, he doesn't have to go pitch over 100 pitches a game. If he could come back and give you 20, 30 pitches with a UCL, after the UCL reconstruction, then I see no problem with it. So it's up to him. It depends on what type of risk he's willing to take and how much money he's going to get just batting, and how much would he get if he took the risk of his surgery.
All right, we'll have Breaking Bones Sunday morning at 7:30. If you got a question, you can throw one at us. We'll try and sneak it on there. But let's use the time we have left with the Ben Barch injury. And when Mia had the interview with him the other day, he said MPFL, and I said MPFL Geo because that was the one that you were diagnosing. So tell us what that is.
Yeah, so you know, we discussed medial patellofemoral ligament. That's the ligament that connects your patella to your, you know, from dislocating laterally, okay, from dislocating to the outside. He tore it, and after that he ended up getting a surgery. The return to play on that is usually about 7 months. There's a study on it for NFL players, and return to same level of play was about 70%. And so that's what he had. He did not have a knee dislocation. Many people, their kneecap will dislocate, and they'll say, I dislocated my knee. They're two different things. It's just a very common misconception. So he ended up tearing the MPFL that we discussed. And so hopefully for him, he can be those 70% that come back and play at the same level. But there are a subset, about a third of the players just struggle to come back.
And then what did he tell you in the locker room?
Oh, he told me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So as he had said to me when he walked over to do the interview last Wednesday, he was like, I told you I'd be back. And then at the end of the game, he looked at me, he said, I told you I was ready. Mm-hmm. He said, I feel great. Ready. And he said, I feel great.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. It's good. The biggest thing with MPFL is the knee gets stiff. You just got to work on that strength and work on that stiffness.
Absolutely. Let's hit a couple others from Jaguar Land while we have you on the phone, Doc. We do know that Cooper Hodges, this patella injury, all we know is that it's a patella injury. The expectation is that at 4 o'clock today, when 53-man rosters are finalized and players can be placed on short-term IR, he will be a candidate to be placed on short-term IR. Therefore, they're expecting him to be available to return in October or so. Not exactly sure if that'll be early October or late October. So, again, we're just unfortunately speculating because we don't have any other information at this time. What does that say to you as to what this injury could be?
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. So they're saying out for about 2 months, right, because he was out for a couple weeks before this. I mean, I'm thinking he maybe has a partial tear of the patellar tendon, and they're just trying to rehab it, not big enough to do any surgery or anything, but they're trying to rehab it. Maybe he got a PRP injection to see if it heals. That would put him at about the timeline of October. And if that would be my best guess if I had to say what I think it is.
Achilles for Ventrell Miller absolutely sucks, especially coming out of the Jones fracture from February. One can't necessarily be related to the other, correct?
Well, I mean, the answer is no. I mean, they do two different things, right? One, Jones fractures the bone, the Achilles connects to your heel. But I think it's very hard to say they're not related because, especially if they're the same foot, they're right next to each other. If the foot is injured and you're walking funny and you're putting more stress on an area, I think it can definitely affect it. So I don't want to say no. I think there is some sort of connection there. But that's unfortunate. I mean, we saw Robinson. He struggled. He just got cut with the Achilles. So, look, we see people with Achilles come back. Then we see people with Achilles aren't able to come back. And the question is going to be, I think he was a fourth-round draft pick, if I'm not mistaken. Does he come back as a fourth-round draft pick, or does he lose a step? And now is he a fifth or sixth-round draft pick speed-wise? And that's kind of big for him, right? He's not starting off as a first-round draft pick going down to 3. He's going to be at a 4 going down lower than that.
And let's wrap with some positive news, Gio, which is that Joe Burrow is indeed practicing for the first time since that calf strain he suffered the third day of training camp. The expectation is he will be able to play week 1 for the Cincinnati Bengals. Timeline checks out, yes or no? And also, what exactly do you think this calf issue was?
Well, what does that put us at, 7 weeks?
Beginning of training camp.
I'd say 4 or 5.
I'd say 5.
Yeah, 5.
5. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we talk about strains. We always talk about 4 to 6 weeks, especially if they're pretty bad on the bad end, right? Hamstrings are the same. We talk about 4 to 6 weeks if it's pretty bad. He's at 5 now. The season is in a week and a half. So, I mean, that puts it about right there, 6.5 weeks. So, it could be anything.
All right, big man, Papa Gio. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon with those kids, those crazy Michaels and Georges. All right?
All right, guys.
All right, we'll see you later. Dr. George Bari. Don't forget Breaking Bones Sunday morning at 7:30. If you have an injury, throw one our way, and we'll try and get it on the show. Free medical advice, and you can log on to BariOrthopedics.com. We've got our high school half hour, a huge win for the San Augustine Yellow Jackets. So we'll say hello to Coach Brian Braddock and our man Justin Barney coming up.
Cruising with XL Prime Time in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. The calm voice of reason.
Thank you for playing, should we? Or should we not? Follow the advice of the galactically stupid!
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Are you crazy?
Weekday mornings on 1010XL.
Attention car buyers, are you noticing markups on vehicles on dealer lots? Well, come to Key Buick GMC, where we never have markups on our vehicles. Ask for Derek or Brian, where we have fair value pricing, no additional markups, as well as the only Buick GMC dealer with a lifetime powertrain warranty on all new Buicks and GMCs. That's only at Key Buick GMC. We are professional grade across from Tinseltown on the corner of Southside and Gate, or go to our website, keybuickgmc.com.
TVs everywhere to watch sports, delicious food, drinks, league play nearly every night for billiards and poker, award-winning gumbo. 9-Ball Heaven is the place to be. We're off University Boulevard offering all of this and more. An upscale, non-smoking sports bar and billiards hall. We are the place to watch the game and shoot pool with your friends. 9-Ball Heaven also offers private parties, a private bar, and catering. 9-Ball Heaven, where the players play.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
The 9 after 5 rolls on at the Golf Club of Southampton, so get on the tee with me, Joe C. The XL Primetime League is in the summer stretch, and you need to be part of it. Southampton invites you to join us every Wednesday for our 9 after 5. Beat the heat and blow off a little steam with friends and family at Southampton. A great game every week, good grub afterwards, and prizes. Call 287-PLAY and get in the game every Wednesday. It's our 9 after 5 at Southampton. Call 287-PLAY.
I'm Hacker, and I'll get you ready for Billy Napier's second season on the Florida sideline during the Gator Bites podcast, presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, with new episodes dropping every Wednesday. Get Gator Bites where you find podcasts.
Draft choices can make teams look brilliant or bad. Good teams spend time researching and doing the homework prior to pulling the trigger. Don't make a mistake selecting your custom home builder without seeing Preferred Builders first. They're a top pick on a decision that goes well beyond a standard career. Honest, dependable, and they have great stats. Make Preferred Builders your first-round pick in the custom home building draft this year. Call 751-0840 and pick Preferred Builders.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. They were fantastic in setting up my car loan. I've never had a bad experience, and I've banked with them for years. I trust First Florida Credit Union. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the New Durban location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE, the medical providers at Prime Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most advanced treatments to eliminate ED and PE. 98% of men experience instant results on their first office visit. They're even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Don't just take our word for it. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now for our limited time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, is home all week at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark. Tonight is ViStar Good is Everywhere Wednesday, featuring the Furyk Foundation and its Military Appreciation Night. Tomorrow is Coors Light Thirsty Thursday. Then it's Red Shirt Friday with fireworks presented by ViStar Credit Union. The first 2,000 fans on Saturday get a mug courtesy of Maxwell House. Then kids run the bases and fireworks on Baptist Health Sunday Family Fun Day.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville.
For the athletes who give everything, nothing beats Gatorade, the proven fuel of high school athletes, and proud sponsor of the High School Half Hour.
The High School Half Hour, brought to you by I9 Sports, the way youth sports should be. Log on i9sports.com.
High School Half Hour rocking and rolling. We have got a lot of games to look back on. We got to look ahead. There are some, or a lot, that are going to be played, but a couple of them had to be canceled, unfortunately. Right now, let's say hello to a winning coach from last week.
Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
This one we got some heat, boys, because we didn't make it our 1010XL game of the week. This is Brian Braddock, the head coach of the St. Augustine Yellow Jackets, coming off of a dramatic victory over the Bulldogs, although technically this says, at least according to Max Preps, Brian, that this was your second game of the season, or was Spruce Creek just the tune-up for you guys? Yeah, the tune-up.
Yeah, that was just the preseason game.
Just the preseason game. So they start off with a bang, a 43-36 win over perennial power Bulls. Walk us through the dramatic last-second finish and your team's ability to come back in this one, Brian.
Yeah, golly, I mean, the offense gets a lot of attention, but 3 consecutive stops by our defense enabled us the opportunity to do it. And we were down 8, and we had a huge interception by a senior in our secondary, Ja'Kai Singleton, and then hit a couple big pass plays and scored, and then got the 2-point conversion to tie the game. So it was, obviously the momentum was on our side at that point. We had scored 15 unanswered, and then again came out and got a stop. I don't think it was a 3-and-out, but we did get the stop about the time they got to midfield, and then took over at our own 20 with about 1:10 left. And in any type of drive like that, the start of it's the most important. If you can get a big play or at least a chunk play early on, then you got a chance. And on the very first play, our quarterback, Lachlan Hewlett, hit Trenton Jones on a dig route, and he made a guy miss and went about 35 yards and got past midfield. And then we converted a 4th and 4, and then the next play was a 35-yard touchdown from Lachlan to Miles Simmons, in which Miles made a tremendous catch, kind of jumped in front of the defender and made a great catch. And then wasn't a lot of time left at that point. We were able to hold on and win 43-36.
It really was awesome, and it's a huge win. We're talking with Brian Braddock, coach of the St. Augustine Yellow Jackets, and if you look at it, a historical number, you guys had not beaten bowls since 1978, and I know, classifications and everything changes, so you're not always playing them. But that, and then also I thought a historical number, Brian, 370-plus yards from your quarterback, that's crazy good.
Yeah. Well, we're really spoiled. Lachlan is up there, arm talent-wise. I mean, he can throw the football with anybody, anywhere. And he's a super talented young man. And then he's got the benefit of throwing to several future college receivers. So, there's nothing magical that we're doing, I can tell you that much. We're really fortunate right now to have some gifted athletes who they work really hard. They're great kids, and because of that, they're maximizing their God-given talents, and they can do some special things. So, I mean, I think he had, Miles went over 100 yards receiving. C.J. Jenkins went over 100 yards receiving. Trenton Jones was up there around 100 yards. He had 2 big reverses that he took for long yardage. So we're really fortunate.
So, Brian, you have back-to-back non-district games now against Gibbs and Brunswick. What do you know about Gibbs coming up this week?
Well, unfortunately.
It's not even played?
No. So earlier in the week, obviously things changed quickly over the last probably 24 to 36 hours over the course of yesterday. But they had a lot of kids. I mean, they're in St. Petersburg right there on the water. And they had a lot of kids in evacuation zones. They didn't even practice Monday. And then they were out yesterday and today from school. So they were not feeling great about, an opportunity to really prepare to play this game. And so we started those conversations Monday and then made the agreement. It's a non-district game. It's a huge trip across the state, and there were so many unknowns. Would they even be back in? Which, as it turns out now, I'm sure they'll be back in school tomorrow. They were very fortunate in that part of the state. But so, anyways, we made the decision to cancel the game, and to kind of just seemed like the wise thing to do at the time.
So what do you guys do now? Just more preparation for Brunswick then?
Yeah, so we had practiced Monday like we were playing Gibbs, and then yesterday we weren't allowed to have practice after school. Everything was shut down after school in St. Johns County. Today there's no activities at all. There's no school in St. Johns County. So we'll practice Thursday and Friday. We'll go a little shorter, and we'll start getting ready for Brunswick.
Brian Braddock, our guest on the All-Pro Roofing Hotline, the head coach of the St. Augustine Yellow Jackets, the 1-0 St. Augustine Yellow Jackets. Brian, you mentioned your quarterback, a guy that, for those of us who are familiar with 6 points, we're very familiar with the last name Hewlett. Obviously, Lachlan's dad is a partner of our buddy Denny Thompson's with that quarterback venture. Describe for me when Lachlan arrived here in Florida and the impact he has made on the St. Augustine program.
And I don't want to sound like too much of a St. Augustine apologist. Well, I am a St. Augustine apologist. It's where I'm from. It's where I've worked virtually my entire life outside of my 3 years at Mandarin. We're proud of the quarterbacks we've had now for 20-plus years. We just had the leading passer in the nation, and we fully expect Austin Reed to do something similar again and hopefully get drafted. And Sammy Edwards is going to make his first start at Valdosta State this Saturday. And those two were state offensive players of the year their senior years. So, what Lachlan brings is maybe even a higher ceiling talent-wise than those two young men had and some of the other guys we've had before him. He's a great kid. Obviously, he's had the full benefit of having great training. He's a hard worker, and he's just a gifted thrower of the football. And he's still growing as a quarterback. Last Friday was a big night for him to grow. He took a lot of hits. The game-winning touchdown pass, he didn't see it caught because he was on his back. So he's still growing. He's got Friday night was his 13th start as a high school quarterback. So he's still got room to grow, and that's exciting because he played at a really high level last Friday. So it's been great. It's definitely helped elevate attention for our other. We've got a lot of future college players, and it's elevated the attention maybe that they get from colleges because a lot of colleges are looking at Lachlan, and it's really benefited a lot of our kids.
Well, it's a great way to get out of the blocks hot, that's for sure. Away to Brunswick, then Menendez at home, which will be a huge south end, north end of the SJC, which would I think will be great. Listen, congrats, Coach. That's big stuff, and keep it rolling. And obviously, we'll be visiting with you again on the high school half hour or with Hack and Gibby on Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys highlighting high school athletics in the area. Thank you.
Awesome. Take care, Coach.
So Brunswick's probably not playing either then this week.
I'd have to look and see, but that kicked up right through that area.
They always find a way to play.
Yeah, and so if I'm looking here, and I know that they listed.
I can text.
And we got Jay Barn coming up. Yeah. He's been covering the South Georgia and then obviously all of Florida on this. It does show them as far as taking on Camden County, so we'll see whether or not that actually does go down. But anyway, it's a big game. And when we take a look at all these other games, we're going to go through a few of them with Justin Barney coming up. But you definitely got off to nice starts. Mandarin beating Fletcher was a big ball game. Both sides trying to just kind of gut check it. And it was 43-21. Ended up being a little bit more of, not a runaway win, but a big enough win for Mandarin. And so they're feeling pretty good. Fletcher's got to try and bounce back. There were a lot of other good ones. Bradford versus Baker. The Jamie Rogers Bowl ends up only being 12 points scored in the entire game. So,
probably the way that Jamie Rogers would have liked it, too.
Yeah, exactly. That's the defensive stuff that he does. So let's get with Justin Barney coming up in a second. Don't forget I-9 Sports. They've got 2 brand-new locations. Yancey Park up on the north side. They've got it going on. And St. Joe's in St. Augustine. So all you have to do, you're talking Clay, St. John's, Duval, i9sports.com with their fall and winter registration going on right now. So make sure you log on and check them out. And, of course, each week we'll have the Gatorade Player of the Week, courtesy of Gatorade. Gatorade is the #1 sports drink and the proven fuel of high school athletes. Nothing beats Gatorade. Proud sponsors of the High School Half Hour.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. Mike Dempsey.
Bigger, stronger, and a lot meaner than you. Plus,
He gives you everything you need to know about your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome to the jungle, tough guy.
10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
You don't know what's out there.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
This is Keith Catlin for Catlin Truck Accessories, and we are so blessed to be in business for over 100 years. Over 100 years of the best product and customer service means you can count on Catlin. From roll and lock bed covers to Lear toppers to cam locker toolboxes, Catlin Truck Accessories has you covered when it comes to your truck or van. We do those too. Got a fleet of vehicles? We can outfit them all.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
One name, one location, 100 years. You can count on Catlin.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
Northeast Florida's highest-rated residential home electrical contractor is American Electrical, providing unsurpassed quality in Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Nassau counties.
No matter your electrical problem or project, large or small, American Electrical will get it done at a price that's right. High-quality electrician, that's who they are. Trust a company that's been on the First Coast for decades, proudly serving the community while being a big part of the community. Call American Electrical for all your electric needs at 737-7770. Wired right at a fair price.
Can the Canes calm the storm in Coral Gables and rejoin college football's elite?
I'm JJ LaSelva, and I bring you news and notes you need to know from Miami every week on the Hurricane Report.
Brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve on 1010XL.
I'm with Greg Mackey from Cycles of Jacksonville, and even though you're the place to go for fun, you're also a place to go for generators, and right now with a storm coming, people need generators.
And the Honda lineup is amazing. They make the super quiet model, inverter technology, the electricity's super clean. You can have conversations with them. You can back up your whole house with a Honda generator. So we have them in stock, and we're ready to ride.
So you have generators big enough that could run everything in the house?
Absolutely.
Check it out, Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency for generators.
Craving a night out? Elevate your evenings at Players Grill. Sip on handcrafted cocktails and groove to live beats. Players Grill, where every moment is a toast to life. Join us tonight at Miramar or Mandarin. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
Do you have a VA loan? In this housing market, homeowners with VA loans have access to a ton of instant cash. Hey, it's Prosser here. Do you need cash to pay off credit cards and other high-interest loans? Does a check for 80 or 90 grand sound about right now? Well, Loan Pronto is helping veterans every day get the money they need with a quick and easy zero-cost cash-out refi with zero closing costs. With a VA loan, it's really cool because you can access up to 100% of your home's value. Use that money to pay off credit cards, home equity lines, car loans, consolidate all your payments into one check per month, and close in 2 weeks. Most homeowners who do this end up cutting their overall monthly payments by $800. Loan Pronto's all-digital process makes it fast and easy. They're doing loans with super low APRs, and they love working with veterans. Call now to see what your options are. Call Loan Pronto at 999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Servicing every customer like they're famous. But what does that mean for you? It comes down to the famous philosophy. You'll find a consistency at all 20 locations in friendly service, honest pricing, and realistic time expectations. They know when you find someone you trust to maintain your vehicle, keep it running right, and lasting longer, you'll stick with them. And that's the famous philosophy at Famous Automotive in Quick Lube. Ask about a fleet account for your business.
Hey, Hicken here. I hope your summer's been as fun as mine. We had some great vacations, did some traveling. Must admit, though, I'm looking forward to everybody kind of getting back into order. My youngest going off to college. Everything got is settling down in the house. Man, the house is taking a beating. So the tile and grout, the carpets and rugs all need a good cleaning. Time to call Zero Res. Right now, Zero Res offering the hottest price of the year on tile and grout cleaning. Get your tile and grout cleaned and sealed 25% off. Zero Res, man. Spell it forward. Zero Res, spell it backward. Right way to clean.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician, Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Establishing a regular sleeping pattern is crucial for your well-being. This includes going to bed at roughly the same time every night and waking up around the same time every morning. You may even consider turning off all electronic devices an hour before bedtime. Ever wonder why you can't fall asleep after staring at your phone right before bed? Studies show that the light from your phone actually decreases melatonin production, therefore causing disruptions to your sleep throughout the night. Get some rest before the big game. Go Jags.
Summertime is here, and it's time to cast those worries out. And Royal is here to help you do that with our summer termite special featuring Centricon. Starting at just $249. That's right, I said $249, and that's installed.
Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
This is Dr. Michael Iorio, internal medicine physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars rookie offensive lineman Cooper Hodges has made the Jaguars 53-man roster as a 7th-round draft pick. Former Jaguars linebacker Tom McManus on the rookie out of Baker County and Appalachian State.
Doesn't matter where you drafted, none of that matters. If you can come in and show that you can hang, that you got the athleticism, that you're big enough, you're strong enough. You don't have to be the biggest, strongest, fast, all that, but you got to be enough of all that, and you can play the game, and you got some tenacity. You got a shot at making a team. They don't care where you came from. They don't care if you're better, if you come out of App State and you're going against a 3rd-round pick out of Auburn. If you're better than him, they don't care. And Cooper Hodges has proven he's that kind of player.
I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
For the athletes who give everything, nothing beats Gatorade, the proven fuel of high school athletes, and proud sponsor of the High School Half Hour.
The High School Half Hour, brought to you by I9 Sports, the way youth sports should be. Log on i9sports.com.
I do love that JJ went from all the dream songs to let's just get the party going songs. Okay.
No, this is California Dreaming.
I know, but we're growing mushrooms, is what I'm saying.
All dreaming songs are about drugs. That's a fact.
That is true. You got to come in with a little Tom Petty before we're done, a little Alice in Wonderland, because that definitely was the dreamscape. Now, this guy ain't dreaming. This guy's all about reality.
Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Justin Barney joins us now. You're all about reality, aren't you? Because you got to deal in the real, do you not?
Man, it happens. It's fluid, schedule changes, everything. One day games are on, the next hour they're off. Next hour they're on again. So, man, it's fluid times, Josie.
Yeah, it really is. So I want you to hit us with just a couple of, like, what you would consider major changes to the schedule. You know, because there was some good ball last week, and we got to talk about some ones this coming week. But at least hit us with schedule changes abbreviated that you know right now.
Right now, as of this second at 2:33 p.m. on Wednesday, Baker County at Oakleaf canceled. That is off this week. Bishop Kenny at Middleburg postponed October 20th. Bradford at Baldwin moves back a day to Saturday night at 6:30. St. Augustine at St. Pete Gibbs is canceled. Ocala Forest at First Coast canceled. We've got other games that have been postponed. Rebault Atlantic Coast has moved to Tuesday, as has Fletcher at Tallahassee Childs. So a lot of moving parts, and I'm sure we'll still see some more as teams and schools look at the damage or lack thereof from the storm in the area and see what they can do on Friday night.
Movement in the schedule, movement in the News for Jack Super 10 that Justin so kindly puts together for all of the high school football fans here in town each and every week. Biggest mover for you after week one of the season, Justin Barney, is?
Probably Bradford moving down 3 spots, but I have other teams all kind of making 1 and 2 spot jumps. I think St. Augustine was a nice mover after their big win over Bowles last week. They go from 4 to 3. For me in the rankings, Mandarin goes up to number 4 from 6. So a couple spot jump for Mandarin as well, and Bartram moves up a spot. So interesting movement in the Super 10 this week, and really tough to make some of those decisions after week 1 game. You know, moving Bradford down is kind of just musical chairs. Their 10th shutout in the last 15 games for them, 12-0 over Baker County last Friday night. So some moving parts, but I thought that St. Augustine performance over Bowles was probably the most impressive of the week.
So we're starting a new list right now with Bradford, right? We're starting the new shutout watch. That's what is it? 10th in their last what, Justin?
10th in the last 15. So
That's
they started last year the same way. A 12-0 win this year over Baker County in week 1, and last year was 21-0 over Baker County in a half of football. So we'll see if they can keep that shutout streak going this week at Baldwin on Saturday night.
All right, so what surprised you most, you think, from week 1?
You know, I think surprising to me was probably Mandarin, how effortless they made it look against Fletcher, 43-21. That was a 7-point Mandarin win last year, and this year just absolutely pulled away in the second half. And I really think the surprise to me in that game was the dominance in the backfield. 4 rushing touchdowns from Deshard Westcott and Tiant Weiss combined. You got a blue-chip receiver at Mandarin and Jamie French. You got a great defensive secondary, a good quarterback in Tramel Jones. But, man, it was that ground game that took center stage for the Mustang.
We're talking with Justin Barney at Justin Barney TV. You can find him on social media, all the stuff right there cooking at newsforjacks.com/sports. So when you think of the statement that Mandarin made, and I'm not even saying that Fletcher isn't getting out of that heavy senior class what they'd like, but they got to pick up pieces and basically try and piece together the rest of the season, right?
Yeah, and I think they will. You know, Seatric Fazen's a good coach, and that's his alma mater. He's got a lot of seniors, like 36 seniors on that team, an excellent quarterback in Marcellus Tate, who's headed to USF. And they'll get back and get back on the saddle on Tuesday against Tallahassee Childs. And I would not be surprised if that's the only game this season that Fletcher loses, so they're that good. But Mandarin looked like the real deal. A lot of postseason or preseason hype for them, and they certainly went out and validated that last week.
So let's look ahead to this Friday night and this weekend's slate of games, since, as you noted, Justin, a couple of those games, despite what I was told about holiday weekends in Duval County schools, somehow, some way, they found a way to move at least the Baldwin game to Saturday night at Bradford. Walk us through, what are your games to watch?
Yeah, I think just a lot of moving pieces on that. You're told one thing, coaches hear one thing, and then you hear something from the higher ups. So I think a lot of confusion and a gray area in what a lot of people were told. But Duval County games, for the most part, will go on, barring any radical changes. I think Bowles Mandarin, the headliner, which was shifted to another date in October before being put back on the schedule for Friday night, I think that is certainly the headliner in the area on Friday night. Can Bowles bounce back from that loss against St. Augustine last week? They've gone back and looked at that film. You're up 15 in the fourth quarter of a game. You don't expect to lose, and that's certainly what happened. So Bowles at Mandarin, they won that game against Mandarin last year. A very good performance in the second half of that game for the Bulldogs. So can they right the ship after last week? And you got Mandarin going over to the Corral on Friday night for Matt Toblin and the Bulldogs. We'll see if they can get that record back to even on Friday night.
Justin, I feel like every time Bowles loses, it's always, oh my God, it's about Bowles losing. How good can St. Augustine be, you think?
I think they're going to be. I've said time and again, this team, the St. Augustine team, reminds me a lot of the 03 through 05 St. Augustine team. Those 03 guys, which included Brandon James, Jacques Rickerson, Quentin Hancock. They were starting as sophomores and taking their lumps that year. They won 7 games in 03, but they had some challenges. Then they bounced back the following year, undefeated until the state semis against Bowles. They lost that game, and then by the time all those sophomores had turned to seniors, they went 15-0 and won a state championship. So I liken this St. Augustine team. Brian Braddock was an assistant on that team in 05, which won a title. I liken this St. Augustine team to that team in 05, where they took their lumps early on as freshmen and sophomores and put it all together by the time they were seniors. And I'm not projecting state championship, but I do think they'll play for a title by the time it's all said and done down there.
And Brandon James is a part of that team. He's drawing up that offense, and my buddy Art, who was boots on the ground, he said they can score in a blink. And so that is, and I got to say this, Justin, that isn't what we're used to seeing, though, in Yellow Jackets uniforms.
Not at, you probably haven't seen it, and Austin Reed a little bit in a sense when he was a senior there. He had a little bit of that magic where you could kind of score in the blink of an eye, but really probably not since that Brandon James senior year, that 05 team where it was Brandon and Jacques Rickerson, and they had the head-to-head games with Tim Tebow and these just phenomenal years. Have you really seen that breakneck pace offensively from a St. Augustine team? Quinterrence Cooper at quarterback. I mean, those guys could move the ball quickly and score quickly, and I think this team now with the abundance of receivers, Trenton Jones, Carl Jenkins Jr., Miles Williams at receiver, these guys can put up points in a hurry, and it's going to be a good season for St. Augustine.
Well, JB, I'm glad you're keeping your head on a swivel. I'm going to throw one more at you. Fleming Island just tweeted out that they will be on the road this Friday night to play NFEI with kickoff at 7 p.m. And Fleming Island obviously coming off of a very impressive rout of their crosstown rivals, the Clay Blue Devils.
That's right. And, Jamal Fudge over there at NFEI, his first season there and a big win for them last week. They're 1-0, and that game surprisingly gets on the schedule. I know Fleming had been looking for a game for quite some time. They'd had some issues nailing down a week 2 opponent with schedule cancellations. I think a couple games of theirs in week 2 had been canceled originally. So good to see Chad Parker and the Fleming Island Golden Eagles get a game. And I think they beat NFEI. I think NFEI is going to be a much better team under Jamal Fudge, former Ed White star, later played at Clemson, and then a little bit of time with the Jaguars back in the day. So he's doing good things over there. So that's a good one. Again, hurricane schedules can get us some good ones from time to time, and I like that one.
Yes, for sure. All right, so keep an eye on it at Justin Parney TV. He'll keep you up to date with everything in the newsforjacks.com/sports. We appreciate it, bro. We will talk to you next week.
Take care. Thanks for having me.
All right, our high school half hour. We say thanks again, I-9 Sports. Don't forget, they've got Yancey Park opened up on the north side. They've got fields in St. Augustine at St. Joe's. They've got fall and winter registration open, so make sure you log on i9sports.com. Throw 1010 in that promo code for a discount. And we say thanks to Gatorade. And as a matter of fact, we have tasked Hacker and Gibby with our Gatorade Player of the Week. Nothing beats Gatorade, the proven sports fuel of high school sports, and none other than Mr. Hewlett down there in the AUG. Lachlan Hewlett is our Gatorade Player of the Week, and he threw for 376 yards and 4 touchdowns. So
it's good to be working with you again, man.
Yeah, exactly. And so
I can't wait to break bread over some fellowship.
And I told him, I said, look, I was going to solo bill you, but I'm putting Gibby right there with him. So it's one can't necessarily veto the other.
And
They're
Lachlan
gonna have to agree
Hewlett
on it.
truly is. If I know we talk, we had Colin Hurley in studio, and we've spoken about some of the other quarterbacks in our area, Tramel Jones at Mandarin, an FSU commit. Lachlan Hewlett is committed to Wake Forest, but, I mean, first of all, we've talked about the quarterback factory.
If he goes up there, he'll throw all over the lot.
Right, and he has that capability. His dad's obviously a world-renowned quarterback trainer, has been training Caleb Williams since he was a young pup, and so it'll be curious to see if that Wake Forest commitment sticks and what he does when he gets to the ACC, I guess.
Yeah, something like
it's
that.
still the ACC.
Yeah, for now. We'll see up in Winston-Salem.
It'll be the ACC for a while.
Yeah. All right, we are done. We wrap it up. We say hello to the Francis Show coming up next.
Gatorade is the #1 sports drink and the proven fuel of high school athletes. Nothing beats Gatorade. Proud sponsors of the High School Half Hour.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Go! 1010XL brings you Bulldogs football.
I'm Coach Tobin of the Bulls Bulldogs, and our first road game is Friday night at Mandarin. You hear the play-by-play on 1010 AM.
Mia here. Football is back, and so is winning season at MyBookie. Look, if you're anywhere near as fired up for the season as we are, you gotta get a bet in on the action. NFL, college football, and a brand new cash-out system. MyBookie gives you options to bet and win all season long. First 2 legs of your parlay hit, cash out early and use the funds on another bet, or let it ride for the chance at a bigger payday. Use early cash outs as a tool to stay in control of the action at MyBookie. To get started, go to mybookie.ag now and register for an account for free. When you're ready to make your first deposit, just use promo code 1010XL to grab a welcome bonus totally on the house. Maybe place a futures bet on the Jags or perhaps some Gators Utah action. Wherever your pick is, sign up with the promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit bonus and, for a limited time, a free chip to use in the MyBookie casino. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
Okay, Gator Nation, y'all ready to do that Gator Chomp? It's your boy E to the T, and Brackish Vodka and I have something special brewing for you at Miller's Ale House for the Gator Game Watch Party versus Utah. Join me Thursday, August 31st at Miller's Ale House in Tinseltown for the ultimate Florida Gator Game Watch Party. We taking it to the next level, baby. Ale House is now pouring Brackish Vodka, proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguar. So gather up all your homies, deck yourself in that orange and blue, and come cheer with me, E.T., Thursday for the Gator Game Watch Party at Miller's Ale House, Tinseltown. Come on, somebody.
Mia here, and my friends over at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned are fighting inflation and saving you even more. That pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla I told you about, it's no longer $1,000 down. It is now just $500 down and $288 per month. Or you choose a pre-owned 2020 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma, now just $500 down and $388 per month. With over 400 used cars in stock, plus more than 100 vehicles under $18K, Arlington is fighting inflation and saving you big time. Find out more at arlingtontoyota.com. Mia here, and I want to talk to you about something that will transform your life. With Motto Clear aligners, only available at Aspen Dental, you can now achieve a beautiful smile with doctor-directed care. And for an affordable price, Motto is the smarter way to straighten your teeth. Start today and get $100 off with their Summer of Smiles event. What are you waiting for? Visit aspendental.com/Motto aligners to find a location near you and take the first step toward creating your new smile.
'Tis the season to be cool. Florida Home AC wants to make sure you're not cooked like a Christmas goose this summer. Make sure your AC unit is ready for the heat, and if it's time to look at replacement, look for quality and value. You'll get that from Florida Home AC. And right now, take advantage of $1,750 off a brand new heating and AC unit. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com for all the details and trust a company that will always keep you cool. Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars.
There's nothing like a good fish story.
You're never going to believe me, but it was this big.
On the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show with Captain Kevin Faber.
Thursday nights at 6.
Golly, that's a giant.
On 1010XL AM.
Get ready for the power of Godsmack live on their new world tour with special guests Atreyu and Flat Black featuring Jason Hook, formerly of Five Finger Death Punch, coming to Daly's Place September 6th. Featuring songs from their new album, Lighting Up the Sky. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Godsmack Live.
The IRS has just received $80 billion in funding to hire additional agents for aggressive collections enforcement. If you owe the IRS, now is the time to take action before the IRS comes after you or your business. There's no time to waste. Call J. David Tax Law, a firm right here in Jacksonville, for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
We've been telling you for almost a year about Nathan's Family Chiropractic and the 100-Year Lifestyle Network. If chronic back or joint pain is keeping you down, don't listen to me. Listen to what Jacksonville is saying about Dr. Alan Nathans.
The stem cell treatment took the pain away.
Changed my life. It's awesome.
Your body just works better when it's aligned. We're believers.
His no-needle regenerative protocols are giving people their lives back. Get yours back, too. Go to the pro in the know. Don't do another cortisone injection. He's one of us, helping all of us for the past 25 years. For more info, drnathans.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, protected by Preferred Roofing on 1010XL.
Ready to say hello to the Frangie Show as we wrap up a lovely Wednesday. And yes, I said lovely because
it's lovely.
Hurricane Idalia, for whatever the reason, decided to just bypass the Jacksonville corridor, we'll call it.
They all do.
Do we say the wall is in Lake City, or where is the hurricane wall?
I always feel like if it's coming from the east, we're the westernmost point of the East Coast.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the cove
Truly.
of coves.
Yeah.
But when it's coming in from the Gulf, I don't know what happens.
It's also a cove. Same thing.
It does. It kind of pushes it to the north.
That's
so
Hacker's excuse. It's the armitt, man.
Yeah. Is that what he calls it?
Calls it the
he
armpit.
probably calls a lot of things the armpit. But the other thing is that like the Michael in the middle, his in-laws are right there at Horseshoe Beach. And Horseshoe Beach and Mexico Beach and all, they take a beating over there. Cedar Key and all of them. So I just appreciate the fact that hopefully it looked like there was less damage than what was originally forecast. You still see some damage. There's no question about that. State of emergency here and a couple of other states as well. But just hopefully everybody will be okay, because that's what you're looking for more than anything else. But, yeah, I'm just happy. This is Barstool weather, okay? No problem with that. But just happy that we don't have to worry about all the other stuff that was anticipated. And always, I'd rather prepare than have to deal with, the worst of the worst. I'll take that all day. I got to give a shout out to our man Mickey Ryan, 104.5 The Zone up there in Nash, just checking in, making sure everything was okay.
Love that.
Which was nice. I said, the best news. I told him. I said the best news is that this storm's not affecting my baby coming home from Nash, Vegas. For Labor Day weekend. So that part I was the happiest about, that's for sure. All right. Now, we're getting ready for the Frangie Show. We'll be coming up in just a second.
Do we want to touch on that bit of news that I noted before we took
Let's
our
do
last
our
break?
takeaways.
Yeah,
let's do our takeaways.
Today's takeaways, brought to you by Key Buick GMC, where our family dealership has been helping families buy vehicles for over 50 years.
Well, I'll make this my takeaway as we have scoured the wire. Only 24 players of the 900-plus that were waived yesterday were claimed. And in the aftermath, the Indianapolis Colts have just 3 players on their active roster after they waived veteran wide receiver Isaiah McKenzie about 25 minutes ago.
That's laughable.
And, of course, Jonathan Taylor starts the year on the PUP list. So Anthony Richardson has 3 wide receivers as of this writing and a 4th-string running back.
All right, my takeaway is Cam Rising allegedly is not going to play.
Oh, which there is an update on that, too, by the way.
There is. Is he
Yes.
going to play?
So Josh Newman, the KSL reporter who reported about the plans for Bryson Barnes to be the starter, just posted this podcast that they did, and it says that basically the game plan has been set up around Bryson Barnes.
Yeah, Cam Rising will not play, or if he does, he will not play well. He's not 100%. And I think the line has moved, okay? It's moved. It's telling you something. It's down to 4.5. And so there's no question that is my takeaway as well when you talk about where this football team is at. Florida, the worst possible thing that could happen is go there and lose to a backup. But they better take advantage of the situation they've been given.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet, keeping 1010XL on track with wholesale prices and premium service. Tire Outlet, Jacksonville's largest locally owned automotive repair shop.
The simple question to the embedded and shredded, is it take the points or take the money line?
It's a great question. First off, I'm sorry I'm late.
You're in trouble,
and
buddy.
I deserve to be sent to detention. So my deepest apologies.
Matt Hayes was waving his hands.
Yeah,
ready.
I don't blame
penalty
you guys.
box bound,
It's like, where is Carline? We got to get out of here. But I mean, look, I this one's tough to call. I mean, my heart, I think, is telling me Florida, but it's just so hard to go in and win on the road in week 1 in college football. You got to have the better team, and I don't know that they do. So, man, we're 24 hours out. And I'm still tangled up in knots over picking this game. But certainly Florida catches a huge break if Cam Rising doesn't
And
play.
by the way, Hayes, it's not only him, it's the tight end as well.
Right.
Which will be MIA. At least
who
that's
had
the
over
way.
100 yards in last year's game. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's setting up well for Florida, other than the fact that they have to travel to Utah. They have to play in front of, 50,000 screaming people. And so we'll see. But it's
Hey, if it was 1883 and they needed stagecoaches to get there, then it'd be tough. But they don't. They don't.
I don't know. All I've heard from these guys all summer is how bad Florida's quarterback is. So it's still hard for me to have any faith that Florida's going to go on the road and beat a ranked team, no matter what attrition that team has.
A mid-level SEC can beat a ranked Pac-12 team any day.
Yeah.
That's what I got to believe. All right, what's coming up?
We're going to talk certainly all that. Tons of Gators. Tons of Knowles. I mean, what a game they're going to have against LSU, and we'll get into all the Jaguar cuts, practice squad, all that fun stuff that we care so much about for about 24 hours, and then we move on to the actual stars of the team.
Yeah, the ones on ones.
But we'll enjoy that conversation for one more show, and then we'll start locking in on who's actually going to decide the game against Indianapolis on September.
Will you
9th.
sleep well tonight, knowing that the Gators are playing tomorrow?
I'll sleep fine. I'm kind of beyond that, state. I mean, certainly when I was like 16, I probably would have been like not sleeping.
Or 36.
Maybe, yeah. But no, I mean, I'm excited. I'm optimistic. But this is a tough putt, so I'm not sure that they'll drain it. We'll have to see. But I am excited about the season. I'm excited about Billy Napier. And I think they've got a lot of talent. It's just young, and we'll see how fast they can develop it.
All right, Brother Hayes. Thank you, man.
Guys. Sorry
for
again.
listening. Franchi Show coming up next. We are out. Thanks to the Golf Club of Southampton. Don't forget, every day you're going to get a great experience there. So make sure you call them 287-PLAY, and the 9 after 5 will be back before you know it. The golf gods usually shine on the 9 after 5. We are out. Joe Steve, me, O'Brien, Matty Hayes, Big Surson, JJ.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealers studios with